Chapter 477. When Yu Yang's power exploded to innate level 5, the entire sea churned. The waves were 1,000 feet high. Including Tai, who, all the enemies saw this scene and their eyes were filled with despair. Even the ocean Emperor Guan Lan sighed. He had painstakingly guarded the secret of the Crystal Canyon for hundreds of years, but in the end it was all for this young man. The Mother Earth potion, in the end, was obtained by this young man. What's in one's life will always come to pass, but what's not in one's life should not be forced. The Sea Emperor had finally come to terms with the fact that everything that did not belong to him was just an illusion. Not to mention the Mother Earth potion, even Tong Tian Tower's hegemony of the ocean was the same. In the end, it was just a lie. Everything he had sacrificed for the past 1,000 years, in exchange for a betrayal. Even if the matter of the Ocean Emperor being betrayed by his children's subordinates did not happen, Yu Yang was not prepared to let the people who knew the inside story leave alive. Unless they were people he could control, they would all be buried in this graveyard of the sea. Yu Yang did not hide his power anymore. He continuously unsealed his innate power, from innate level 1 to innate level 5. With his current power equivalent to innate level 10, even if the Ocean Emperor was not injured, Yu Yang could still fight. So, including Tai who, that cunning old man, no one was a match for Yu Yang. The massacre was about to begin. Yu Yang did not hold back anymore and decided to end the battle quickly. All the rebels, princes and princesses, the innates that Yu Yang did not know, and even the greedy hybrid fishmen, could all end this sea battle. The graveyard of the sea would be their final resting place. Ha! Yu Yang's earth-shattering roar was 100 times louder than a bolt from the blue. The entire sea was trembling. Countless shockwaves under Yu Yang's control formed a huge tornado, sucking in the boiling seawater and shooting up to the sky. The Storm Mermaid took the opportunity to blow the storm horn to assist her master, making the storm even more violent. Countless whirlpools rumbled and spun at the bottom of the sea, devouring the wreckage of the sunken ship like a prehistoric monster. The Thunder Naga summoned bolts of lightning. Apart from killing the enemy, it also illuminated the graveyard of the sea, making it look like a bloody hell. The stone element Medusa and the ice serpent demon worked together to reap the lives of their enemies. Every time they attacked, a seafolk rebel soldier would fall. The bloody Queen Red let out a soul-shaking banshee scream as she dove down. As if struck by lightning, the 9-headed demon fox fainted on the spot. He fell like a meteor. The golden-crowned thorny flower queen wielded the Tong Tian dragon blade that the golden beast had transformed into. With one slash, the cunning 9-headed magic fox was decapitated. Instant kill. Hui Tai Lang's doppelganger chased after the Shark King while he himself killed his way into the seafolk rebel soldiers. He was also invincible. Any claw or bite would kill a life on the spot. Below him, countless thorny flowers devoured the corpses. They did not even let off the fresh blood that was spilled, absorbing and digesting everything. The golden tiger shark summoned by the stone element Medusa could only pick up some small pieces of the enemy's body. However, it was still considered lucky. There was a prince's corpse that fell into the sea just now, so it was able to swallow it first. After digesting it, it would at least level up. 3 minutes. When Yu Yang started his massacre, the battle ended in 3 minutes. Tai, who resisted stubbornly, but under the attacks of Yu Yang's god-killing dagger and world-exterminating wheel, he could not escape the fate of being killed in an instant. All the seafolk's traitors, innate rankers and hybrid fishmen became the thorny flower's food. None of the enemies of Yu Yang survived. When the storm gradually calmed down, other than Yu Yang, Bloody Queen Red and the other beasts, there were only 7 people left on the surface of the sea. The dying Ocean Emperor Guan Lan, Shark King, who was heavily injured and unconscious. Other than that, there were 5 hybrid fishmen. They were the Octopus Man Boss, Whale Zhang, Swordfish Man Blast, Mudskipper Man Sui Zue and Crab Man Ao, who had stuck to the alliance and did not work with the Sea Dragon Crown Prince. The remaining 30 or so hybrid fishmen were either killed when they surrounded the Ocean Emperor, or killed by Hui Tai Lang, Bloody Queen Red, Golden Crown Thorny Flower Queen, Stone Element Medusa and the other beasts after they violated Yu Yang's alliance and cooperated with the Sea Dragon Crown Prince. The last few were killed instantly by Yu Yang before they could beg for mercy. Yu Yang would never mercifully give those who betrayed him a second chance. It's over, everything is over. Octopus Man Boss was a little sad. After all, his companions who had accompanied him for thousands of years were all dead. Fools, they are all fools, they can't blame anyone else. Moreover, we have advised them not to do stupid things. These beasts are still alive and well. How could Yu Clan's third young master be in trouble? How could he be defeated by the Ocean Emperor? They were greedy and cooperated with the Sea Dragon Crown Prince for treasures and power. If they did not surround and attack the Ocean Emperor, how could they die? I feel that they deserved to die. Nothing is better than freedom, what we want is freedom. Mudskipper Man sneered. He actually despised the betrayal of his companions. He felt that those fellows were short-sighted and short-sighted. They would rather believe the Sea Dragon Crown Prince's idiotic promise than to keep their original promise. Indeed, they deserved to die. Swordfish Man Blast actually wanted to kill his traitorous companions, but Octopus Man Boss dissuaded him. That's good too. Only the few of us are left, we are united. Crabman Ao was more optimistic and felt that this was a good thing. That's right. Whaleman Zhang hummed in agreement. When the few hybrid fishmen were looking around the graveyard of the sea and reminiscing about the last time before leaving, Yu Yang landed in front of the Ocean Emperor. Grey Wolf also tried to curry favor with Shark King and threw his hill-like body in front of the Ocean Emperor. The last step was to kill the Ocean Emperor and fulfill Anshi's wish. However, this was just a procedure. Even if Yu Yang did not make a move, the Ocean Emperor Guanlan would definitely die. Yu Yang waved his hand magnanimously. I must take his head. I promised Anshi, but I can give you 10 minutes. The Ocean Emperor transferred a little bit of energy into Shark King's body. He then looked at Yu Yang and smiled bitterly. It's a pity that you are not my son, otherwise. Although Ah Sha and I are related by blood, our attributes are completely opposite. He would not be able to inherit my energy and treasures. What a pity! Shark King had already woken up. He struggled to get up. Kneeling in front of the Ocean Emperor Guanlan, the man's tears flowed down his face. He understood his father's regret, but he was helpless. It was as painful as when he saw his father being surrounded and attacked, and he was unable to save him. I didn't want to say it at first, but the Ocean Emperor, there might still be a little hope. You have an illegitimate daughter with the same attributes as you, and her potential seems to be not bad. Yu Yang took out Hai Yingwu, who had fainted previously, from the grimoire world and handed her to the overjoyed Ocean Emperor. You didn't kill her? That's great. I, the Ocean Emperor, finally have a successor. The Ocean Emperor's face flashed with an excitement that he had never shown before. Tears welled up in his eyes as he signaled Shark King to come over and take a look. Ah Sha, you will assist my sister in the future. You are destined not to become the Ocean Emperor, but my sister, who has inherited my power, still has a chance. Yes, father, I swear, I will definitely assist my sister to truly become the female Ocean Emperor who unifies the entire Tong Tian Tower Ocean. Shark King knelt down and solemnly swore. I, Guanlan, have a son and a daughter, my bloodline will be passed down, I have no regrets even if I die, I have no regrets even if I die. The Ocean Emperor laughed loudly. He first placed Hai Yingwu on the deck of the sunken ship. He used the Ocean Emperor halberd to pierce through her heart. The blood-stained Ocean Emperor halberd and Ocean Emperor armor turned into golden light and entered Hai Yingwu's body. Soon after, it flashed on Hai Yingwu's body. He recognized her as the new master. The Ocean Emperor Guan Lan spat out a mouthful of blood. In the blood mist, the heavily injured and dying three-headed golden dragon king appeared. It turned into a crippled woman with dragon wings on her back. She also pierced through her heart with the Ocean Emperor halberd, letting the boiling dragon blood flow down the halberd and into Hyingwoo's body, dyeing her in blood. When the Dragon King's blood reconstructed Hyingwoo's body, the woman with dragon wings spat out a shining dragon pearl. It entered Hyingwoo's forehead. In an instant, Hyingwoo's body emitted thousands of rays of light, forming a dazzling light cocoon. Soon after, the woman with dragon wings slowly turned around and hugged the Ocean Emperor. Her body was on fire. The dragon flame continued to burn her body. Come, I owe she and the blood debt from back then. Now I will return it to him. The Ocean Emperor Guan Lan waved his hand and flicked the god-killing dagger that Yu Yang threw over. The middle finger of the god-killing dagger spun and flew back to Yu Yang's hand. But while it was spinning, the meter-long sharp sword Qi directly cut off the Ocean Emperor's neck. The first-generation Ocean Emperor died. Shark King kowtowed heavily and respectfully sent his father off for the last time. The raging dragon flame burned the Ocean Emperor and the woman with dragon wings into ashes. The entire sunken ship exploded, thick smoke billowed and slowly sank. Holding Hyingwoo, who was still evolving in the dragon blood cocoon, Shark King painfully closed his eyes. On the same day, he first obtained the father that he never had, and at the same time, he lost his father forever. The only thing he inherited was his father's last wish to conquer the ocean. Wah 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 wah. Mudskipper Man Sui Zue suddenly let out a dry howl, as if he was crying, but there were no tears. That look was very comical. Why are you crying? Swordfish Man Blast was confused. He thought that the Ocean Emperor was not Mudskipper Man's father. What does his death have to do with you? Even if the Ocean Emperor dies, he still has a son and daughter to send him off. When I die, I will have nothing. When Mudskipper Man said this, Swordfish Man Blast and the others almost sweated to death. So this was what he was thinking. After you go out, find a woman and let her give birth to 8 to 10 sons for you. Then wouldn't there be people to send you off? Octopus Man Boss comforted him. I have become a mudskipper. Now I am neither a human nor a fish. Who would marry me? Wah wah wah. Mudskipper Man howled even more sorrowfully. At least you still have some self-awareness. Swordfish Man Blast evaluated Mudskipper Man. Yu Yang, who had dived into the ocean without anyone noticing, surfaced from the deep sea. He looked at Shark King and Hyingwoo, who was inside the dragon blood cocoon. He did not say anything and just turned to leave. Whale Zhang and Swordfish Man Blast looked at each other. Surprise flashed in their eyes. Could it be that the ancient seal at the bottom of the ocean had been removed? Octopus Man Boss hurriedly chased after Yu Yang and asked, Has the ancient seal at the bottom of the ocean been removed? It can't be so fast? Yu Yang shrugged his shoulders very humbly. Actually, I'm already considered slow this time. It's been too long since I've solved the runic circle. I'm a little rusty. This brat was so arrogant that the few hybrid fishmen seniors who heard him all fainted. One by one, they fell headfirst into the water. Chapter 478. 6th Floor of Tong Tian Tower, Thunder Fortress. In the middle of the night, Yu Yang, who left Fire Island, wanted to return to Soaring Dragon Continent, but he didn't expect that a few hybrid fishmen would follow him closely. It was no wonder they hadn't been out for thousands of years. Even if Octopus Boss and Mudskipper Man were seniors, they were still not used to it. With nowhere to go, they could only chase after Yu Yang. How could Jun Wu Yu, Elder Yu Hai, the old fox and the other old fogies endure bringing a few level 5 and 8 hybrid fishmen back to the Soaring Dragon Continent? Moreover, to the Black Hell Army and Zijin Kingdom, if they knew that Yu Yang had such strong reinforcements, they would have some scruples. The original plan of luring the snake out of its hole would then fail. Therefore, Yu Yang could only bring them to the Thunder Fortress. It was definitely impossible to bring them there openly, so he could only secretly bring a few hybrid fishmen who had lived for God knows how many years into the Thunder Fortress. There is a lake here and a few houses beside it. If you like to swim, go ahead. If you like to sunbathe, go ahead. If you want to eat, just order the servants to prepare it. Don't stand on ceremony with me. Yu Yang felt that it was good to have a few seniors as guards for free. How is this a lake? This is a bathtub. Mudskipper Man Sui Zui complained that this man-made lake was too small. Senior, the underwater graveyard is very big. Yu Yang reminded him. It was already good enough that they had water to overcome the difficult conditions. Hearing that Yu Yang's tone was not right, Mudskipper Man Sui Zui quickly smiled. No, I was saying that this bathtub is small and exquisite, it is also quite fun. I have decided I will stay here. Oh right, when are you going to release the seals in our bodies? We are neither human nor fish now, it's so miserable. If I can recover my human form, I can recover my grimoire. With the grimoire, my strength can also recover. Quickly think of a way, I only have so little strength left, the days are worrying. Yu Yang ignored him. Releasing the seals in his body was not an easy task. What's more, he had to train harder to deal with the Black Hell King. How could he have the time to care about the hybrid fishman's recovery? Octopus Man Boss and Swordfish Man Blast were not in a hurry, they still had the strength of innate level 8, they were more than enough to protect themselves. Whale Zhang and Crab Man Ao didn't care about anything else as they ordered several hundred types of food. Apart from fish, he ordered a portion of everything. This was because they had not eaten any food other than fish for thousands of years. They missed it very much. When Yen Zheng and the fat toad saw Whale Zhang's mountain-like body, they had already instructed the servants to prepare the food. After half an hour of preparation, they served the food like roasted camel, roasted turkey and roasted goat. This time, Mudskipper Man and the others no longer discussed the size of the artificial lake. They pounced on it like hungry wolves and opened their mouths to gnaw on it. Their table manners were even worse than Grey Wolf. The fat toad even secretly asked, "Young master, where did these hungry ghosts come from?" As Yu Yang enjoyed the roasted dragon wing alone, he casually explained, "They are all prisoners who have just been released. They are temporarily staying here. That octopus man is the boss, Mudskipper Man is the boss. If anyone comes to cause trouble, just let them handle it." Yen Zheng had always been a steady person. He asked, "What level of rankers are they?" The weakest one, Mudskipper Man, is innate level 5. As soon as Yu Yang said that, the fat toad Jiada fell to the ground. Mr. Chen, who was drinking, almost choked to death. Even Yen Zheng the butler, who always had a poker face, was stunned. "Greetings to the seniors." Mr. Chen hurriedly got up and bowed. He really didn't sense that these weird-looking fellows were seniors. After thousands of years, I finally heard a descendant call me a senior. Third young master didn't count that time, he was threatening and mocking me. Mudskipper Man Sui Zui looked like he was about to cry. When the fat toad heard this, he fell to the ground again with a bang. The rest of the matter was simple. The matter of receiving the guests was handed over to Mr. Chen, who respected his seniors, and the fat toad, who flattered him. When Yu Yang returned to his room to rest, Xia Yi, who was hiding at the corner of the corridor wearing a policewoman uniform, coughed lightly to indicate her presence. She didn't want Yu Yang to ignore her, but she didn't know what to say to him. Yu Yang suddenly stretched out his hand and pinched Xia Yi's face lightly. "Is your body still in pain recently?" Xia Yi just realized that this brat was teasing her and was furious. She wanted to punch him, but felt that he was concerned about her. She could only put down her raised fist resentfully and replied, "It's all your fault for making me like this." After saying this, her bright eyes were a little wet. She felt that this brat's concern was too late. If he had done it earlier, she might have forgiven him. But it was too late for him to care now. Actually, gradually, she realized that her body was not that uncomfortable anymore. She was also getting used to the strange power. The current her, compared to the past, was more than 10 times stronger. Xia Yi also knew that this was a good thing, but he didn't tell her earlier and only let her suffer in fear. So, she definitely couldn't forgive him. Even if he had good intentions, she couldn't forgive him. Especially this set of clothes, he must have done something to it. There was an indescribable oddity. She would feel uncomfortable if she didn't wear it for a day. This kind of self-righteous brat is not worthy of forgiveness. Thinking about this, Xia Yi wanted to bite him. She definitely couldn't win against him, but she still wanted to bite him to death. Anyway, it's not over yet. Yu Yang was wearing the Gemini mask. Although she couldn't see it, she could see that he was smiling brightly. If you don't want to feel uncomfortable, come and find me at night. Xia Yi was a little dazed after seeing this. She strangely realized that this brat's eyes seemed to be glowing. That smile of his seemed to be able to shine into her heart. She was stunned for a moment until he reached out to touch her face. Then, she struggled out of it and pushed his hand away angrily. Dream on, I'm not going to find you at night. I'd rather die than find you, don't touch me. She hurriedly turned around and ran back to her room. She closed the door tightly and leaned against the door as if she was relieved of a burden. She clutched her thumping heart. That was close, I almost forgave him just now. This brat's eyes were a little weird. I definitely shouldn't look at him in the eyes in the future, or else I would definitely be fooled. Xia Yi realized that her heart was beating very fast and her face was burning as if she was having a fever. Touching the face that was touched by Yu Yang just now, Xia Yi's face became even redder. After a long while, she suddenly slapped herself lightly on the cheek that was being touched. She scolded herself resentfully. Are you a pig? Why didn't you hit him just now? You even talked to him. Xia Yi, you're really an idiot. Yu Yang originally wanted to return to the grimoire world and count his spoils of war. When he returned to his room, he realized that the half-elf girl in maid attire was actively making the bed over and over again, not letting go of even the slightest detail. It was simply perfect. From her practiced movements, it could be seen that it wasn't the first day that she did this. It had become a habit. Even if Yu Yang never rested here, she would always be ready without any complaints. Master is back. When the half-elf girl saw that Yu Yang had returned, she cheered. She thought that Yu Yang would directly return to the grimoire world. She didn't expect that he would come back here to greet her. She immediately ran over happily and bowed. Before you rest, let me massage your legs, okay? Yu Yang took off the Gemini mask on his face. Anyway, this half-elf girl already knew what he looked like. There was no need to wear a mask in front of her. When Yu Yang saw her making the bed, he decided to rest here tonight. Although she was a little maid, she was really very cute. The half-elf girl was stunned at first, but the smart girl immediately reacted. She was so excited that her face turned red, like a pink apple. She immediately rushed over and hugged Yu Yang tightly, not letting go. She even asked in disbelief, Master is going to rest here tonight? Xiaonu was overjoyed. Was this for real? Is this true? Yu Yang lightly scratched her little nose as an answer. The half-elf girl's beautiful big eyes immediately became moist. Her mouth also flattened, looking like she was so excited that she was about to cry but was holding it in with all her might. I'll go get some water. The half-elf girl suddenly remembered that she had to help her master wash his face and feet, so she quickly ran out. When she went out, because she was too excited, she tripped on the doorstep and almost fell. Yu Yang saw her running out. Along the way, several drops of happy tears splashed on the ground. He couldn't help but feel pity for her. This half-elf girl was really pitiful. She was very lonely here. If he had time, he would bring her back. She liked to serve people, and the delicate girl at home needed it. This way, this little slave wouldn't be so lonely. When she came back with the water, the half-elf girl's face was red. She didn't dare to raise her head to look at Yu Yang, afraid that he would make fun of her. Yu Yang took a towel, wet it, and helped her wipe her face. At this time, the half-elf girl's eyes seemed to have opened a gate. Her tears fell down. She hugged Yu Yang's arm and sobbed, "Grandma didn't lie to me. Master is really the best in the world." With great difficulty, Yu Yang coaxed her to stop crying and smile. After wiping her tears, the half-elf girl was even gentler than a kitten as she served Yu Yang. She massaged his shoulders and legs. After Yu Yang lay down, she resisted her shyness and put down the silk curtain. Seeing that Yu Yang didn't object, she entered the bed like a cat and slipped into the bed. At first, she curled up nervously. Then, she gathered her courage and stretched out her small hands. After searching for a long time, she found Yu Yang's big hands and hugged them. She slowly stretched out her legs and peeked at Yu Yang with her big eyes. Seeing that he still didn't object, she used her legs to clamp Yu Yang's legs and pressed her whole body against him. Sleep. Yu Yang originally wanted to take the opportunity to enter the dream realm and ask the heavenly sword goddess about how to absorb the Mother Earth potion without becoming an innate elder. However, hearing the half-elf girl's heartbeat, he reached out his hand and stroked her soft hair. "Yes. But there's still that thing that hasn't been done yet. Master must be feeling very uncomfortable." The half-elf girl resisted her shyness and pulled Yu Yang's hand to her fragrant butt, indicating that she was ready to serve her master at any time. She felt that if she couldn't make her master happy, it would be the biggest failure of her life. She didn't even consider whether it would hurt. "Don't think too much, sleep obediently." Yu Yang patted her perky buttocks and kissed her forehead. "NN." The half-elf girl felt extremely happy. Although her master didn't want her, he didn't reject her. Being able to hug her master to sleep so comfortably was more blissful than a dream. With sweetness and satisfaction, she snuggled into Yu Yang's arms like a kitten. Before falling asleep, she decided to work harder in the future to make her master the happiest person in the world. 2 hours later, she felt very hot and kicked away the blanket. She put one of her legs on Yu Yang's chest and turned upside down. She, who was originally hugging Yu Yang's arm, was hugging Yu Yang's leg. 5 minutes later, she, who was murmuring that she would make her master happy, turned over and fell off the bed. She felt pain from the fall and woke up from her dream. She looked again and kicked the blanket to the ground. There was nothing to cover her master's body. She stuck out her tongue cutely and quickly put the blanket on Yu Yang's body. Finally, she sneaked under the blanket and hid for a long time. In the end, she realized that Yu Yang didn't wake up and didn't notice her embarrassment. Only then did she feel relieved. Serving her master was indeed not an easy task. The half-elf girl felt that she still had a lot of things to work on. However, she finally had a good start. Chapter 479. After returning to the Soaring Dragon continent, the Yu Clan castle had nothing to do. Yi Kong, Fatty Hai and the others also went to the outskirts of the Death Canyon to train. After Yu Yang strolled around, he slipped away to Tian Luo Palace's mirage. City Mistress Fallen Flowers, Sickly Beauty and the others were all there. Since it was daytime, they were too embarrassed to be too intimate with Yu Yang. If it was nighttime, the guy from another world would probably have a threesome again. On the other hand, Phoenix Fairy Beauty had left. She might have gone to look for the Night Empress. Yu Yang was not worried about her. As the new female Jizun, even if she met the Black Hell King, she would be able to retreat easily. If it wasn't for the fact that he was afraid of exposing his true strength and causing the Black Hell King to retreat, Yu Yang would have brought Phoenix Fairy Beauty to the mysterious space to stop the Black Hell King. Fourth Mother and Yu were happy for Yu Yang from the bottom of their hearts after killing the Ocean Emperor clan in the graveyard of the sea. His younger sister, Yu Bing, worshipped him even more. One of the 5 emperors of Tong Tian Tower, the Ocean Emperor Guanlan, was actually defeated by her brother. Although his death was mainly due to the ultimate assassin and Shi's battle and the Sea Clan's betrayal, the final victor was her brother. On this trip, not only did he obtain the Mother Earth Potion and the God-killing dagger, he had also leveled up to innate level 5. Yu Bing felt that her brother was simply the most perfect man in the world, no one could compare to him. It was too dangerous, it was a narrow victory. When the sickly beauty heard about the battle at the Crystal Canyon, she patted her chest with lingering fear, expressing that she was afraid. "I'm dying of laughter. The Ocean Emperor actually got the fake Mother Earth potion and treated the crystal liquid as the real one. Ha ha ha, the Ocean Emperor's taste is really..." City Mistress Fallen Flowers had already become Yu Yang's wife, but her bold and sexy laughter was still the same. She held on to Yu Yang and laughed so hard that her shoulders shook. She almost fell into Yu Yang's embrace. Actually, not only her, Yu and Yu Bing also found it funny. The Ocean Emperor guarded for hundreds of years and finally got a fake one. He even thought that he successfully snatched the treasure. Just thinking about it made people speechless. Traitors can't escape such a fate. But the Ocean Emperor is lucky to have a son and a daughter. "San'er, you did well this time." Fourth Mother admired Yu Yang's decision to hand Hai Yingwu over to the Ocean Emperor. She felt that he had done a good deed. Usually, Fourth Mother rarely praised Yu Yang. No matter how many treasures he obtained, Yu Yang gave up the Ocean Emperor's armor and Ocean Emperor's halberd and gave Hai Yingwu to the Ocean Emperor to inherit. This action made Fourth Mother extremely gratified, and she happily praised Yu Yang. Actually, it was not that Yu Yang did not want to get the Ocean Emperor's armor and Ocean Emperor's halberd, but those were items with special requirements. Even if he got them, he would not be able to use them. So he might as well go with the flow and do a good deed. Moreover, letting Hai Yingwu become the new Ocean Empress might not be a bad thing for Yu Yang in the future. Even if Hai Yingwu had Shark King's help, she would definitely not be able to become the Ocean Empress. The Sea Clan, especially the Sea Dragon Crown Prince's mother and clan, would definitely plot to take over the position. In the future, Yu Yang reckoned that he would have a lot of things to do. Of course, Yu Yang could not predict how things would develop in the future. But this could be considered as him planting a chess piece in advance. "Brother, we can't look at the Mother Earth potion now. Take out the God-killing dagger and let us have a look. Let us broaden our horizons." Yu Bing pulled Yu Yang's arm. Her face was flushed with excitement. She was still unable to calm the excitement in her heart and had to look at the spoils of war. "Be careful, it's very sharp. Don't hurt your hand." Yu Yang was worried that she would ride on a holy ranked artifact. He gently grabbed her hand and put down the God-killing dagger. "It doesn't look good at all." Yu Shuang was not interested in weapons. In fact, she was only interested in delicious food. Fire Island has a type of snow coconut that is very delicious. When Yu Yang said this, Yu Shuang immediately beamed with joy. She called him brother the best and pulled him down to kiss him. In the end, she held the Fire Island's specialty snow coconut and jumped around. Even though she was hungry, she still wanted to play with it for a while before eating it. She could not bear to eat it all at once. Seeing her cute look, Luo Hua City Mistress and the sickly beauty couldn't help but laugh. "Mother Earth Potion and God-killing dagger, the rewards are not bad," Yu Bing praised. Actually, what Yu Yang obtained was not as simple as the Mother Earth Potion and God-killing dagger. Almost all of his beasts had leveled up in this sea battle. Little Wenli obtained the energy of the Mother Earth Potion and was about to level up from Diamond-ranked level 5 to Diamond-ranked level 6. Bloody Queen Red was about to level up to become a divine beast and only needed Yu Yang's help. Barbarian Cow Shadow Aman did not gain much. However, after merging with the Heart of Earth and gaining the energy from the Mother Earth Potion, she would definitely evolve more perfectly after digesting it. Even the Spirit of Earth Fire, Reaper Mantis and Quintet Golden Puppet Mice had gained something. It was just a matter of how much they gained. Yu Yang felt that the Quintet Golden Puppet Mice, which had never shown any signs of evolution, seemed to have undergone some changes after absorbing the energy from the Mother Earth potion. There was no time to study the specific situation. However, Yu Yang felt that ghost genius Yu Gong's hard work was about to find a breakthrough in his research. Needless to say, the one who gained the most was the Golden Crown Thorny Flower Queen. The Golden Crown Thorny Flower Queen, who had leveled up to gold-ranked level 1, had swallowed so many innate rankers and C-clan members. Breaking through to platinum-ranked level 1 or even diamond-ranked level 1 was a sure thing. One must know that there were more than 30 hybrid fishmen that were innate level 5 and above. There were also more than 10 innate rankers that Yu Yang did not know. There were also the 3 kings of the Sea Clan who were equivalent to the Shark King, 8 Sea Marshals, 108 Sea Generals and 3,000 Ocean Emperor's Royal Guards. After swallowing more than 10 princes and princesses, the Golden Crown Thorny Flower Queen had also swallowed a huge tonic, the innate level 9 Tai Hu. Although only a small portion was eaten by Hui Tai Lang, it was almost insignificant. Yu Yang reckoned that if the Golden Crown Thorny Flower Queen came out again, it would be incredible. He reckoned that even without his help, she would be able to reach the Divine Beast realm. The Golden Beast had swallowed Tai Hu's Lightning God's staff and digested it into a pile of scraps. Yu Yang did not find it a pity. As long as this little thing could eat, it did not matter what treasures it ate. In reality, Yu Yang had obtained countless rings, treasures and magic crystals from Sea Dragon Crown Prince, Sea Anemone Princess and the others. For the time being, he did not have the time to sort them out. Yu Yang no longer stopped the Golden Beast from eating the magic crystals crazily. No matter how big its stomach was, it would still eat one magic crystal at a time. Compared to the Halo Domain's world, it was truly abnormal. No matter how many magic crystals were placed in the halo, even if it was a small mountain, it would still absorb them all. It would not be satisfied at all. Yu Yang would of course prioritize nurturing powerful beasts. The Black Hell King was covered in holy rank treasures. Yu Yang reckoned that the god-killing dagger might not be able to kill him. The one who would most likely kill him would be the Golden Beast that could ignore everything. After it transformed into Tong Tian Dragonblade, coupled with Yu Yang's innate chi, even if the Black Hell King had the holy armor to protect his body, he would not be able to handle it. This is the 9-headed demon fox's magic crystal. I have already purified it with Nirvana Flame. Yu Yang passed a crystal-clear energy crystal to City Mistress Fallen Flowers. It's just right. If only I could find another strange flower. City Mistress Fallen Flowers' 6-tailed fox spirit had already evolved into a fox lady, but she was still a step away from becoming a holy beast. Normally, 6-tailed fox spirit would maintain the form of a 3-tailed snow fox. However, she could transform into a fox lady at any time, and could even transform for a long time. The biggest obstacle for her to break through was the lack of an inner pellet from the Eastern Goblin tribe. City Mistress Fallen Flowers had been working hard to help her evolve. However, Yu Yang felt that becoming a holy beast was not considered slow. If she wanted to become a divine beast, she would probably need to mutate into a 9-tailed fox spirit. Take your time, you will level up. What about Tigress and Anan? Yu Yang asked about the 2 girls, Princess Sisai and Anan. Anan is in the 100 Flowers Valley. Her training is not bad. When she came back last time, you weren't there, so she went to the 100 Flowers Valley to train. She is improving very quickly now. The next time you see her, you will be shocked. Qianqian doesn't know. The last time she sent a letter, it has been almost 10 days, and she still hasn't received a letter. Sickly Beauty understood Yu Yang the most. She knew that the person Yu Yang was most concerned about was Shui Wuxia, but she didn't ask. Shui Wuxia was currently training with Ji Zun. She probably wouldn't be back for the time being. Yu Yang nodded. All right, everyone is improving. This is a good thing. I have to work hard too. While I still have time, I want to see if I can fulfill the third regret of ghost genius Yu Gong. Fourth Mother was sitting beside Yu Yang at this time. She immediately corrected Yu Yang. You are not allowed to call the ancestor's nickname like that. You have to call the ancestor respectfully. Yu Yu and Yu Bing were secretly happy. Usually when Fourth Mother wasn't around, Yu Yang would casually call the Yu clan's ancestor's name. Now, he was finally caught by Fourth Mother. Yu Yang immediately pretended to be an obedient child. He thought of something else. Last time I got a gold coffin, but because I was very busy, I didn't have the chance to open it. Now I want to open it and see what's inside. Gold coffin? City Mistress Fallen Flowers and the others were very curious when they heard this. Last time I got it from the mysterious palace. Yu Yang didn't mention it to City Mistress Fallen Flowers the last time he came back. When he came back, he hugged the beauty and had a bath together. He didn't even think to tell them about the gold coffin. After that, he went to look for impatiens. After a series of tests, he ate impatiens. The girls were also absorbed by the fact that impatiens became an innate elder. Yu Yang almost forgot about the gold coffin. After that, he went to look for hornless dragon Jiangying to fight for the Mother Earth potion. Many things happened in between. He got to know Hai Yingwu and Jiangying, who almost pushed him down. In the end, he joined forces with Enshi and the hybrid fishmen to fight against the Ocean Emperor Guanlan. They obtained the Mother Earth potion and buried all the elites of the Sea Clan. Only then did he remember about the gold coffin. When the gold coffin was taken out, even Yu Yang couldn't understand the strange and mysterious carvings on it. Fourth Mother was surprised and blurted out, "This looks like the gold coffin that sealed the god's servant in the god's ruins." Fourth Mother, you know it? Yu Yang and City Mistress Fallen Flowers looked at Fourth Mother. No, I only heard about it from my sister. Sanner, you guys take your time to study it. I will open that snow coconut for Shang Air. Fourth Mother's expression froze for a moment. She waved her hands, indicating that she didn't know it. Then, she led the little girl to open the coconut. Yu Yang, Yu Bing and City Mistress Fallen Flowers looked at each other for a while. They couldn't believe that Fourth Mother, who never left her house, actually recognized this gold coffin. She even said that it was the god's servant's coffin in the god's ruins? Could it be that Fourth Mother had also entered the god's ruins? Fourth Mother didn't admit it, so Yu Yang was too embarrassed to ask again. However, after hearing what she said, Yu Yang felt more at ease. It seemed like there wouldn't be any monsters inside the gold coffin. If there was any danger, she would have warned them. Yu Yang decided to open it on the spot and see what was inside the gold coffin. Chapter 480. The Gold Coffin. After studying the gold coffin for a long time, Yu Yang and Sickly Beauty realized that the runic circle was very complicated. There were more than 10 links and 3 large runic circles. Moreover, they corresponded with each other and were connected from head to tail. Balanced, mysterious. Anyway, it was extremely complicated, completely different from normal runic circles. Although there were many ancient seal circles under the graveyard of the sea, they could not be compared to this one. As long as one of the seal circles was unlocked, all of them could be unlocked without much effort. Yu Yang could successfully unlock them in a few minutes. However, this gold coffin could not be unlocked. He estimated that it would take a few hours to unlock. As the Sickly Beauty studied, she copied down the runic circle at the same time. She had a strange intuition that these 3 runic circles that resonated with each other would be of great use in the future, so she became even more focused. After 2 hours, Yu Yang and Sickly Beauty had only unlocked the simplest small runic circles. To unlock the 3 main runic circles, it would take at least 3 to 4 hours. Yu Yang and Sickly Beauty felt that the more they unlocked the runic circles, the more they gained. They were full of energy and did not need to rest to continue studying. City Mistress Fallen Flowers saw that the progress of unlocking the gold coffin was so slow. She, who was originally full of enthusiasm, immediately became discouraged. She yawned and decided to return to the grimoire world to catch up on her sleep. She estimated that she would have to fight with her sweetheart at night, so she needed to rest first. "Brother, you must call me when you're done." Yu Bing also went to train. She wouldn't be able to help Yu Yang even if she was by his side. "Let's just return to the grimoire world. This little girl is too annoying." Yu found that the naughty little girl Yu Shuang would come and disturb her brother from time to time. She would give her brother some coconut at one moment, and then climb onto his back to ride on his horse at another moment, seriously affecting his progress. Yu Yang could only move the gold coffin back to the grimoire world. Since their last separation, Yu had not returned to the grimoire world. Now that she saw this warm little home that she had helped build, she could not help but sigh. Actually, she liked living here. However, she knew that there were some things that could not be crossed, otherwise the consequences would be unimaginable. She wasn't worried about others, but she was worried about herself. Fate made fools of people. There was nothing she could do about it. When Yu saw that her room was still the same, her heart ached and her eyes reddened. While Yu Yang and Sickly Beauty were still discussing the runic circle on the golden coffin, she quickly wiped the tears from the corner of her eyes and continued to copy the changes of the runic circle. Perhaps this way, quietly doing something for him, was already the best ending for her. She didn't want to think about it anymore. As long as he was living well, it was fine. "I will always be like this." Yu forced herself to pull herself together. Sure enough, once she got rid of all the distracting thoughts in her mind, her work efficiency greatly increased. After another 2 hours, she had copied down all the runic circles and the way to crack them. Yu Yang and Sickly Beauty also discussed again, and felt that it was time to start. This place, and the star position above are all important points. Sickly Beauty estimated that with Yu Yang's strength, it would take at least 10 minutes. "Do you want to drink some water first?" Yu poured a cup of water for Yu Yang and Sickly Beauty, indicating that they should rest first. "Sister Yu, it's good to have you here. Usually, no one would pour water for me, but I have to serve the ladies instead." Yu Yang's unintentional words made Yu blush slightly. She said lightly, "What nonsense are you talking about? Who would bother you, the Yu clan's third young master? You always look like a master waiting for others to serve you." Actually, Yu's criticism was right. Yu Yang usually did not help much with their daily lives. He was always in charge of enjoying himself. However, City Mistress Fallen Flowers and the Impatiens were used to being served by servants. Pouring water for Yu Yang was a rare action. Princess Sisai? If she was thirsty and her cup did not have any water, she would directly pour some water from Yu Yang's cup into hers. Or, when she saw Yu Yang drinking water, she would snatch it and drink a few mouthfuls first to save time. After training body fusion, Princess Sisai no longer resisted Yu Yang's items. According to her, her lips had already been kissed by this brat. Drinking water was nothing. Of course, this was only limited to the grimoire world. She would never do this outside. The Sickly Beauty was very good at serving people and took good care of Yu Yang. However, most of the time, she was copying runes or studying some ancient books. Once she was engrossed, she would forget about Yu Yang. This was true. If Yu was here, with her meticulous care, not only could she take care of Yu Yang, even Sickly Beauty, Princess Sisai and City Mistress Fallen Flowers could be taken care of. Hence, when Yu Yang picked up the cup of water, he reminisced about Yu's good points in the past. Yu rebuked and rolled her eyes, but she was secretly happy. This brat did not forget his roots. He still remembered that he had an older sister. The unsealing continued. When the innate chi in Yu Yang's hands flowed through the runic circle of the gold coffin immediately shone brightly. Without any external influence, the gold coffin opened automatically. There wasn't a mummy jumping out like what Yu Yang had imagined. Instead, there was a mysterious fragrance. It wasn't like the fragrance of flowers, but a kind of pure energy. It was similar to the Mother Earth potion, but it wasn't as pure and vast. It was similar to the 100-year crystal liquid, but it wasn't. Inside the gold coffin, there was a long silver box. At the head and tail of the silver box, there were 2 crystal bases that bloomed like flowers. They were overflowing with energy and were more beautiful than the crystal pillars in the Crystal Canyon. Not only were they transparent, they were also emitting green, cyan, blue, purple, and silver light. These 2 crystal bases are very suitable for you. Wu Hen, I have waited for so long, I think it's time for you to increase your power. There was always a small regret in Yu Yang's heart. Although he had increased Sickly Beauty's power and realm, and was the first to practice husband and wife body fusion, he had benefited a lot from her. However, because Sickly Beauty had studied heaven runes in the past, her body was damaged. Although Yu Yang had used his innate qi and nirvana flame to repair her body many times, he was still unable to reach the perfect state. Yu Yang had to find the best crystal energy to help her repair her damaged body, potential and guardian beast. This was also Yu Yang's biggest wish. Yeah, it's nothing. I'm not a battle type, it's fine even if my body is slightly weaker. Of course, Sickly Beauty was happy, but she was a gentle person. If it wasn't for this opportunity, she would not force Yu Yang to help her find this kind of treasure. Even without these 2 crystals, I have obtained a large amount of crystals, God's water and 100-year crystal liquid from the Crystal Canyon. Wu Hen, I have said before that you will definitely get better. Not only must you be perfect, you must become my most perfect crystal bride. Yu Yang embraced Sickly Beauty and kissed her lip. Alright, put me down first. Sickly Beauty saw Yu and hit Yu Yang lightly, a little embarrassed. When Yu Yang put her down, Sickly Beauty saw that Yu was not looking, so she quickly kissed him back. She was actually very grateful for what he had done for her. Her lover cared about her so much, of course it was sweet. Yu pretended not to see the 2 of them being intimate, and bent over to take out the long silver box. After spending half an hour, Yu Yang opened the silver box. It opened. The 3 of them were stunned again. There was actually a bronze box inside, but inside the silver box there were 2 crystal bottles. They did not know what was inside. Yu Yang picked it up and gently pulled it open. He sniffed it and looked at it with his heaven eyes' divine vision. He immediately covered it and cried out involuntarily, "This is the Fountain of Youth. Oh my God, there are 2 big bottles." The Fountain of Youth, as the name suggested, was a spiritual spring that could extend the youth of living beings. It was extremely rare, and was a level 7 treasure like the Wishing Dutchman's pipe, dream jadeite and sand of time. Although it could not make one immortal after consuming it, it could extend one's life and maintain one's youth. It was said that 1,800 years ago, there was an emperor called Jun Tiansheng in the Dixia kingdom of the Soaring Dragon continent who obtained a small cup of the Fountain of Youth. This emperor, Jun Tiansheng, was a good and devoted man. He only loved the ordinary-looking but knowledgeable and intelligent empress. He was prepared to drink the Fountain of Youth with the Empress and enjoy the time of youth together with his lover. If this legend ended here, it would be very touching, but in fact it was a tragedy. Anyone could be devoted, but an emperor could not. This was because the emperor only loved the Empress, but the Empress did not have any children. The concubines who married her and were responsible for giving birth to princes were all extremely jealous of the Empress. A concubine who could not obtain the emperor's love poisoned the cup of Fountain of Youth with hatred. In the end, this Emperor Jun Tiansheng and the Empress drank the poisoned Fountain of Youth together. Not only did they not retain their youth, they even died together, becoming a pair of Mandarin duck. After the prince succeeded the throne, he placed his father and the Empress into a silver coffin and buried them together in the same tomb. 300 years later, the most savage tomb robber secretly dug up the emperor's tomb and dug out the silver coffin. After opening it, he discovered that the bodies of Emperor Jun Tiansheng and the Empress did not decompose, but were instead very lifelike. It was a miracle, so he quickly put the pair of mandarin ducks back. It was not until 10 years later that the robber was caught and confessed everything. Only then did the world know that the Fountain of Youth had such a miracle. If a normal person drank a mouthful of the Fountain of Youth, how long could they maintain their youth? The innate rankers had already determined that a normal person's physique could absorb the least energy from the Fountain of Youth, and the power of the Fountain of Youth was the weakest. It was estimated that drinking a mouthful would, at most, maintain 10 years of youth. If it was an innate rancor, it would be more than 50 years, or even 100 years. Of course, the greatest benefit of the Fountain of Youth was not to maintain youth, but to increase the potential of the human body. It was a necessary item for the martial god pill. The martial spirit pill that made the lesser innate rancors crazy could stimulate the potential of the human body. The martial god pill, which was more advanced than the martial spirit pill, could break through the limit and increase the potential of the human body. It was the most popular medicine among the innate rancors, and its medicinal ingredient was the Fountain of Youth. In the past, the Night Empress had given a small bottle of the Fountain of Youth to Yu Yang. At that time, Yu Yang did not know its value. Only later did he know that the Fountain of Youth was a priceless treasure. No matter how much money one had, it could not be bought. Yu Yang was having a headache over the Fountain of Youth. Many of his pills required the Fountain of Youth, but the one given to him by the Night Empress was almost used up. Now that there were 2 large bottles of the Fountain of Youth, Yu Yang had picked up a treasure. This is good, everyone can drink a small cup. Last time, everyone wanted to try it, but unfortunately, it was too little. Hearing the news, the city lord of Fallen Flowers was overjoyed. She jumped over and hugged Yu Yang. Ignoring Yu, she kissed Yu Yang repeatedly. Scoundrel's luck is really good. I thought there was a set of rotten bones inside. I didn't expect it to be full of treasures. Oh right, what's in this bronze box? Continue to open, maybe there are even better treasures inside. The 3 girls were extremely excited and full of expectation. Are they blueprints? After Yu Yang opened it, he found that there were only a few blueprints, there were no other special treasures. City Lord of Fallen Flowers, Sickly Beauty, and you were a little disappointed. They had thought that the best treasures were at the end, but they did not expect it to be a few blueprints. Furthermore, they did not look like runes, they were just a bunch of weird objects and special lines. Damn, this is what I really wanted. The Qilin girl was right, this is indeed the most helpful thing for Yu Gong's 3rd wish. Yu Yang was so happy that he burst out with vulgarities. Seeing that he was extremely happy, the 3 girls pretended not to hear him and surrounded him to look at the blueprints in his hands. What kind of blueprints were these? What made him so excited? These, could it be the blueprints of the legendary ancient war dolls? Chapter 481. These papers were indeed the blueprints of the ancient war dolls. Out of Yu Yang's expectations, these blueprints not only surpassed the standard of the soaring dragon continent's war dolls, but also exceeded Yu Yang's imagination. It was a combination of life and machinery, but it wasn't a silicon-based life like the Transformers. Instead, it was a life form that was between silicon-based and carbon-based, a perfect combination of flesh and crystal. To be precise, if this ancient war doll was designed, it would be more advanced and perfect than the Crystal Canyon's ancient guardians. Not only could it have life, it could also have intelligence. Furthermore, this ancient war doll could even have many forms like special innates. Some forms were suitable for fighting, some were suitable for living, and some were suitable for learning. According to different needs, it could change into different forms. To a certain extent, it was superior to humans and elves who couldn't change their forms. Of course, these ancient war dolls had a huge weakness. That was the problem of growth. Its ability was completely fixed. Once it was successfully created and born, its ability would reach its peak. It didn't need to grow. This also meant that it was the same as other war dolls. Its ability would never change, and it couldn't grow. No matter how much time it had to learn, it could only use its own fighting skills or absorb energy to improve. It couldn't really improve. For example, it was like a warrior whose potential was completely exhausted and couldn't be improved anymore. Battle Angel. Holy Tier, all-purpose war doll. 3 forms. Possesses a special life form and high intelligence. Uses its instincts and learned skills to fight. Needs to contract a strong soul as its spiritual host. Will never betray self-repair. When the master of the contract dies, the battle angel will disintegrate. Any additional battle equipment could only be used through relative learning. As for the original battle equipment, it could use its instincts and awareness to unleash its power. Depending on the degree of its instincts and awareness, the final effect would be determined. There's a holy tier war doll? Once this thing comes out, all the innates who were complacent about owning a golden king beast would kill themselves. City Mistress Fallen Flowers felt that this was too abnormal. A holy tier war doll with life and intelligence, how could other people live? It's really scary. Sickly Beauty also felt that if a war doll had life and intelligence, it would be like a frog turning into a prince. It looks very complicated. It won't be easy to create, right? Yu was worried that the requirements to create a Saint-tier ancient war puppet were too high. Having the blueprint is already half the battle. I think we should be able to overcome it. Yu Yang now had 2 crystal man bodies. He had also prepared a lot of materials, such as meteorite gold essence, Emperor's Heart obsidian, and other high-quality materials. He also had the divine molten meteorite gold, that could be used to create divine equipment. Furthermore, the ghost genius Yu Gong had already prepared some materials. Therefore, although the materials were still lacking, it shouldn't be a problem. At most, he would just spend a lot of money to buy them. No matter what, he had to fulfill Yu Gong's third wish. The real puppet grimoire, the mysterious crystal pillar, and Yu Gong's third unfinished work. It could be said that Yu Gong had prepared a part of the conditions for Yu Yang. Most importantly, he had pointed out a new path for Yu Yang. That was a battle puppet with life. The enlightenment that Yu Yang obtained from the ghost genius Yu Gong's original experience was undoubtedly the best gift. One must know that if some things were not solved properly, the entire world's science and technology would be stuck for hundreds or even thousands of years. However, once it was solved, it would be extremely simple. For example, before Yu Yang transmigrated, the sailors in Europe suffered from scurvy. Countless of them died. All the sailors feared scurvy like a tiger. However, in the East, almost no sailors would get this disease. The reason was simple. The sailors in the East would bring some beans to their ships and grow them into bean sprouts, easily solving the problem of scurvy. Another example was the Black Death. At that time, it caused 75 million deaths in the world. Europe lost a third of its population. It was said that this disease was spread by the ancient Xia dynasty. There were many records of the plague in the ancient Xia dynasty. However, if all the damages were added up, it would not be as serious as the Black Death in Europe. Although the grass roots and tree barks used in traditional Chinese medicine looked backward, if one looked at the history, one would realize that the doctors of the ancient Xia dynasty were quite effective in treating the plague. There were many small disasters, but the plague was usually controlled very quickly. If it was another method, such as using the most advanced blood-letting treatment in Europe, or using urine baths to treat the plague, the people of the ancient Xia dynasty would have long been extinct. Experience was very important, this was undeniable. The medicine that was passed down from generation to generation, using grass roots and tree barks to treat the plague, might not be able to achieve the best results, but it was still better than blood-letting and urine baths. If someone pointed out that blood-letting and urine baths were not effective, would the European doctors of that time still do it? Obviously not. Let's take our time in creating this battle puppet. The most important thing is to increase traceless strength. When Yu Yang said this, Sickly Beauty's face turned red. Yu rushed out of the door and went back to her own room. She knew that her brother was going to do something inappropriate with her sister-in-law. Then I'll go back first. Castellan Fallen Flowers knew that she would not be of much help here. However, she guessed that she would need to join the battle after the upgrade was over. Yu Yang took out the bottle of crystal spirit fluid and poured it out. He used his ability to condense it into a ball in the air, then used his innate true chi and nirvana flame to purify it. Although this would reduce a lot of energy, it would definitely be purer. In an instant, Yu Yang turned the purified crystal spirit fluid into a rainbow water dragon and slid it into Sickly Beauty's mouth, allowing her to swallow it slowly and fully absorb it. At the same time, he used his innate true chi to drive the energy of the crystal spirit fluid to circulate in her body. Sickly Beauty hugged Yu Yang lightly and kissed her lover tightly. She closed her eyes and let him use the body fusion to drive her. The crystal pillar, countless crystal shards, and the 2 glittering crystal bases from the golden coffin were all placed beside Sickly Beauty. Yu Yang guided their energy into Sickly Beauty's body, seeping into every part of her skin. The energy of the crystal spirit fluid, on the other hand, nourished the interior of Sickly Beauty's body. Yu Yang's body ignited with nirvana flame, turning his clothes into ashes. Sickly Beauty hugged her lover tightly in the burning pain. She endured the process of nirvana flame purifying her perfect body. Fortunately, Yu Yang had his innate true chi to support him, otherwise she would have fainted from the pain. Countless runes appeared on Yu Yang's body, repairing Sickly Beauty's previously damaged body one by one. Although it had been repaired once before, it became even more perfect with the help of Yu Yang's innate true chi, nirvana flame, and the crystal spirit fluid. Sickly Beauty cooperated with Yu Yang. Under the guidance of body fusion, she lifted her jade-like feet and swayed her buttocks, hanging on Yu Yang's waist. Then, she slowly sat down and joined with her lover tightly. As a wife, Sickly Beauty was definitely qualified and outstanding. As the 2 energies of the body fusion officially merged into one, Sickly Beauty's body finally completed its final repair, reaching a perfect state. Countless crystals quickly gathered on her body, forming a unique and wondrous armor. That was her guardian beast. After the perfect repair, it had evolved. What was even more amazing was that not only did it form a crystal armor on Sickly Beauty's body, it also formed a crystal armor on Yu Yang's body. However, it was more majestic and more suitable for a man's body. The only difference was that Sickly Beauty had long crystal wings that extended out from her back, while Yu Yang had nirvana flame wings that extended out from his back. A golden pillar of light rose from both of their bodies. Thousands of runes flew everywhere and interweaved into a new pattern before returning to their bodies. Sickly Beauty's grimoire automatically floated out. Turn the page, level up. After an unknown period of time, both of them finally recovered from this wonderful state. Under the control of Sickly Beauty's mind, the crystal armor returned to her body. At this moment, Sickly Beauty's body was even more flawless than a crystal. She was like a transparent crystal doll, her whole body glowing and crystal clear. After her body was perfectly repaired, Sickly Beauty's body had another change. Her originally black waterfall-like long hair had become crystal-like thin strands, looking clean, flawless, and extremely soft. Yu Yang moved closer and sniffed. He could even smell the beautiful fragrance of the crystal liquid that was faintly emitting from her hair. It complemented the fragrance of Sickly Beauty's body perfectly. Sickly Beauty also felt that her hair, which she couldn't control with her mind before, was now like her own fingers. She could control it freely and release it as she wished, just like the crystal armor and crystal wings. The first time, Sickly Beauty didn't have a perfect repair, which made Yu Yang secretly feel regretful. Until today, Yu Yang finally achieved his wish. Wow, so beautiful! No wonder you're my crystal bride. Yu Yang praised. A great sense of achievement arose from the bottom of his heart. Hearing this, Sickly Beauty became even more shy. Her starry eyes didn't dare to look at him anymore. She lowered her head and closed her eyes, burying her head in his chest. When her lover started to play tricks on her, the virtuous Sickly Beauty resisted the pleasure of her whole body trembling. Her fragrant buttocks cooperated with her lover and tried her best to satisfy his various attacks. She gave him the most comfortable tolerance, and at the same time, she enjoyed the pleasure that he brought to her originally. Her weak physique couldn't withstand his fierce attacks. But now, she felt that she had improved a lot. Her physique and strength were better, and she could control her body more freely. Even if it was a position that would easily tire her out, she could still easily cooperate with him. Yu Yang also quickly noticed the change in Sickly Beauty. He kissed her excitedly while he attacked even more fiercely, giving her even greater pleasure. Very quickly, Sickly Beauty reached her climax. Her heart and soul floated in bliss. Scoundrel, it's starting so soon. I want it too. City Mistress Fallen Flowers heard the noise and sneaked over. Her jade face was flushed because of excitement. She quickly closed the door, undressed herself and joined the battle. Sisters flying together. This wasn't the first time, and it wouldn't be the last. City Mistress Fallen Flowers and Sickly Beauty did their best to serve Yu Yang. Their moans could be heard from time to time. The battle was intense. They indulged themselves in the pleasure brought by their lovers. However, the Yu clan's second miss, who was hiding in her room and covering her ears, was unable to stop the sounds from entering her ears. Even though she was curled up in her blanket and covered her ears, the faintly discernible sounds still occasionally entered her ears. In the past, it was fine when there was only Sickly Beauty. Her voice wasn't very loud. She was shy, so she would suppress it a little. City Mistress Fallen Flowers was so excited that she lost herself. Her happy moans were completely unrestrained. Yu clan's second miss, who was extremely embarrassed, could only pretend that she didn't hear anything. This was human nature. Her younger brother had a wife, so it was natural for him to do this. Yu didn't feel that there was anything wrong with it. It was just that she heard it and it was inevitable that she would feel a little embarrassed. Moreover, this sound made her heart beat faster. Yu tried hard to let herself fall asleep, but this was really a little difficult. She was actually a little happy in her heart. She had returned here again. Although it was a little awkward here, it was better than letting her imagination run wild outside. At least she felt much better. Chapter 482. Yu, who had let go of the knot in her heart, did not care about anything else. When Yu Yang was creating the holy ranked battle doll, the attentive Yu gave Yu Yang the greatest help. Sickly Beauty was in charge of runes and focused on researching the 3 runic circles on the golden coffin. Her intuition told her that if these 3 runic circles were to be researched, it would definitely be useful to Yu Yang. As for City Mistress Fallen Flowers, she spent most of her time nurturing her 6-tailed fox spirit. She lacked the patience to organize the materials. Thus Yu, who was observant, meticulous and had a gentle personality, was the best choice to be Yu Yang's assistant. Sometimes, when Yu Yang's research was not going well, she could still comfort him gently and cheer him up. In just 2 days, Yu Yang had almost finished preparing all the materials. The first thing he needed to break through was to research the life characteristics and body structure of the ancient guardian Crystal Man. The Crystal Man had no gender. Unlike humans, there was no difference between male and female. It was a neutral life form that was born from the crystal and relied on the energy of the crystal to live. It was different from the cycle of birth, aging, sickness and death of humans. But it was indeed a life form. Yu Yang couldn't imagine how its soul could control its body even after studying it for a long time. It was impossible for the hard crystal body to move like a human, but in battle, the Crystal Man was even more agile than a normal human. After observing for a long time, Yu Yang's heaven-eyes divine vision saw through some of the truth, but he was unable to study it further. Yu Yang was in a state of enlightenment. Maybe we can ask the Night Empress when she returns, Yu Yu suggested. She might not understand. Yu Yang thought that he might be able to gain something if he entered the mysterious palace again. Not only did the mysterious palace have the Black Hell King, it also had a strong defense golden barrier. Even the upgraded Yu Yang had no confidence of entering. Lu Ye's perforate deer might be able to try, but it might not succeed. He could only try. Moreover, Lu Yi, Bao Er and the others had gone to the outskirts of the Death Canyon to train and would not be back for a while. Yu Yu saw Yu Yang's troubled look and quickly changed the topic. She passed a blueprint to Yu Yang. Why don't we study weapons first? We can't make battle dolls in a short time. We are not in a hurry. Yu Yang thought that was a good idea. Yu Yang felt that it was a good idea. Since he was at a bottleneck, it would be good to change his thoughts. Yu Yang's thought that of the battle puppet was the hardest created. This was because a saint-ranked battle angel's weapon had to be at least a platinum-ranked treasure, so it was not easy to defeat her. Forging a platinum-ranked weapon required a large amount of materials. Although Yu Yang had the Nirvana flame to refine and extract the materials, it was still extremely tiring. Yu Yu couldn't help at all. She could only pass water to Yu Yang, wipe his sweat, or record the materials that he had forged. Forging a platinum-level weapon required a lot of materials. Although Yu Yang had Nirvana's flame, he was exhausted. Yu Yu could not help. She could only pass water, wipe his sweat, or record the materials. In order to ensure the success rate, Yu Yang and Yu Yu discussed and decided to use secondary items to make one. Once they were 100% sure of success, they would start making it. This way, they would not waste the materials that they had worked so hard to make. Rune circle here and here. The star position is not accurate enough. Adjust it again. Yu Yang, Yu Yu, and Sickly Beauty were exhausted. They finally completed 2 angels' blades that could be freely expanded, folded, rotated, and even turned into mechanical wings. They were just short of activation. Since they were made with secondary items, these 2 angels' blades had to be platinum level at least. Even if they did not fail, they would only be silver level. Yu Yang did not care about the level, but he had to succeed. After activating it with energy, 5 minutes, the 2 angels' blades that were connected together slowly deformed and twisted under the powerful energy. It did not seem to be able to withstand such a powerful energy flow. Yu Yang felt dizzy and had to melt it with Nirvana flame again. Sickly Beauty went back to think about whether it was a problem with the rune circle and whether it could be combined with the 3 major circles. Yu Yu suddenly saw a problem and said excitedly, "In fact, we may be close to success, but we don't have a carrier. This weapon must be made on the basis of the battle angel. If we have a carrier, that is to say, a person wearing it, then activate it and control it with the mind, just like a battle doll, we may be able to succeed." These words stunned Yu Yang. He was immediately overjoyed. Yu Yu was right. All treasures above platinum level had a certain spirituality and were connected to the master's spirit. Angel's blade was the same. Even if it was activated successfully, it would lose control without the master's control. This should be the case with the failure just now. But then again, who was going to be the experimental carrier? It had to be someone with strong mental strength and good at communicating with treasures. City Mistress Fallen Flowers cultivated flowers to improve the spirit fox. She definitely did not have the time to accompany him in experiments every day. Bing Air could not practice combat skills. Inan's mental strength was not bad, but she was in the 100 Flowers Valley. Sickly Beauty needed to help determine the rune star position. He could not do it either. Whether it was the assembly or the last step of energy input, he had to be busy outside. The only candidate was Yu Yu. However, her physique was weak. If an accident happened, it would be very dangerous. "Let me do it. It's okay. I believe in you. You can do it. Yu encouraged Yu Yang. She had absolute trust in him. Alright, let's make some changes this time. We'll modify the design again. It turns out that there are breastplates and wings in the front and back of the battle doll. Sister Rain, you don't have these. We'll set the two angels' blades on the back, shoulders, and arms. This will be more reasonable, and the rune map will be easier to distribute. In the front, we'll add a breastplate to connect and fix the angel's blade. In case you start to lose control of it, it won't hurt your body. Of course, the weight here will also be more balanced. Yu Yang boldly made an improvement. With the new plan finalized, Yu Yang seemed to see the light of hope in the darkness. In his mind, new ideas kept coming up. He created two new angel's blades. Because of the experience, the angel's blade this time was more perfect and more suitable for women to use. After all, he had to let Yu control it. The huge angel's blade had shrunk a lot. In order to make the breastplate, Yu Yang also accurately measured Yu's chest, waist, and hip circumference. Yu was a little embarrassed when she saw him measuring. But she didn't refuse. Do you feel uncomfortable with such a width? Yu Yang knew that even the slightest mismatch would cause serious consequences. Therefore, he had no choice but to measure accurately and ask repeatedly. No, it's good. Yu wore a sample mold made by Yu Yang. She tried to sit, walk, and fight, and fed the feeling to her brother. Then it's finally confirmed. That's it. Yu Yang felt that Yu's chest circumference was actually a little bigger because she used her clothes to tie it too tightly. Once she wore the metal and crystal breastplate, it might feel very tight. However, he was embarrassed to say it out loud because he was peeking with his heaven eyes' divine vision. He found that Yu had tightly bound her plump breasts and did not expand them to their fullest state. Okay. Yu was also a little embarrassed. She felt that her body was becoming more and more mature. Her breasts were getting bigger and her hips were getting rounder. She was afraid that her breasts would tremble when she walked, so she had to use tight clothes to bind them. However, it was not convenient for her to ask her brother to increase the circumference of her breast. The winged angel's blade with the breastplate was made. Yu officially tried it for the first time. Sickly beauty did not come. She had been in a meditative state recently because she was studying the 3 major runic circles of the golden coffin. She hoped that she could understand it. City Lord Fallen Flowers was also not here. There were only 2 people in the entire laboratory, Yu Yang and Yu. For Yu, it was at least a little less awkward. Seeing him busy assembling the angel's blade on her back and chest, sweating profusely, Yu felt a little sorry for him. This brother of hers, no matter what he did, he was too serious. When it came to research, he did not sleep or rest. If no one took care of him, his body would probably collapse from exhaustion. After installing the energy crystal, he activated the runic circle. Yu Yang used his innate chi and nirvana flame to fuse it. The heaven runic circle, float, haste, and transform shone with a brilliant brilliance. Following Yu's mental control, the angel's blade finally fused with her, becoming a superweapon that supported her. In battle, while maintaining its wings, the angel's blade could shoot out a 2-meter-long angel's blade from its left and right arm to attack the enemy. The angel's blade had at least 18 modes that its master could control. When the enemy was attacking, the angel's blade could also be folded and transformed to form a shield to defend. It could also be combined with the wings on its back to form a rotating wheel to defend against the enemy's attack. Furthermore, during special attacks, the angel's blade could even be used to form a crystal shield that lasted for 10 seconds. In the Soaring Dragon Continent or even in the Tong Tian Tower, the weapons of the war dolls could not reach this level. This was a divine weapon from ancient times. Although it wasn't made of the best materials, Yu Yang felt that this silver-ranked breastplate, Angel's Blade, would be the best among silver-ranked treasures. It was even better than many gold-ranked treasures. Yu controlled the Angel's Blade and happily showed it to Yu Yang, performing various combat skills. Even she could easily control this outstanding ancient divine weapon. It's very comfortable. I feel like it's my wings, my arms. It's easy to control and I can do whatever I want. You did not know that the reason why this ancient divine weapon was so suitable was because Yu Yang had secretly expanded the chest of the armor a little. Moreover, he had made 2 corresponding arcs according to the wonderful shape of Yu Yu's breasts, just like a bra to hold her treasures. That was why it was so fitting. If I had known that I could succeed on my first try, I would have made a gold-ranked one for you. Yu Yang sighed with slight regret. No, this is very good. I like this. Yu Yu was very excited. She wanted to caress Yu Yang's head and praise him. Because of the height difference, she could only touch his face. She quickly withdrew her hand and smiled sweetly at him. Thank you, Xiao-san. This is the best gift you have given me, and the best gift I have received in my life. Chapter 483. With the experiment off to a good start, Yu Yang's research was finally on the right track. The successful birth of Yu Yu's angel's blade was a great inspiration to Yu Yang. His inspiration suddenly surged like a spring. On this day, Yu Yang and Yu Yu were experimenting. City Lord Fallen Flowers was very filial as she brought a cup of fragrant tea to Fourth Mother. Normally, she rarely did this because she was used to being served by others. However, today was a little different, because the cup of tea she held was made with the fountain of youth and the petals of starlight serene indigo grass. Drinking it had the effect of retaining one's youth. Especially for women, the effect was even more obvious. In short, Luohua city mistress, this little daughter-in-law, wanted to curry favor with Fourth Mother, this elder. At first, Fourth Mother didn't notice it and only thought that it was an ordinary flower fragrance. She opened the lid and happily took a sip. Her body shook slightly and she cried out, "This is the fountain of youth? And the starlight serene indigo grass. Fallen Flowers, do you have a lot of fountain of youth? You actually used it to make tea. Forget about you girls, I am the mother of Bing Air and Shuang Air. It is such a waste to use this tea on me." City Lord Fallen Flowers quickly patted her shoulders to please her. "This is everyone's good intentions, please drink it." Fourth Mother heard and smiled bitterly. In the end, she didn't let down her daughter-in-law's good intentions and drank it gracefully. She reached out and caressed City Lord Fallen Flowers' face. "You are all very obedient, but these things are useless to me. In the future, you can drink it yourselves. Fourth Mother will accept your good intentions." "Oh right, San Air didn't give this to Bing Air and Shuang Air, right? What? San Air is really messing around." When Fourth Mother heard that Yu Bing and Yu Shuang drank the Fountain of Youth, she was not happy, but shocked. City Lord Fallen Flowers was afraid that Fourth Mother would be angry, so she hurriedly explained, originally, he only wanted to give it to Bing Air so that she could cultivate faster. However, when Shuang Air saw it, she insisted on drinking it. You know how greedy that little girl is. She drank the Fountain of Youth. Could it be that she won't grow up and will always be a little girl? After saying that, even City Lord Fallen Flowers was shocked. Fourth Mother waved her hand, indicating that she didn't know. Then, he sighed, "How can I not know that San Air cares about his sister? It's just that Bing Air and Shuang Air are the same as me. Drinking this won't have much effect." Fallen Flowers returned and told Yu Yang, Yu Yu, and Sickly Beauty. The three of them were puzzled. Anyone who drank the Fountain of Youth would have the effect of retaining one's youthful appearance. Why did Fourth Mother say that it had no effect on her? She said that she was being modest and didn't want to waste it. However, she also said that Yu Bing and Yu Shuang didn't have much effect on them. This aroused Yu Yang's suspicion. Could it be that in Yu Bing and Yu Shuang's bodies, there was some kind of secret that Yu Yang couldn't see through with his Heaven Eyes divine vision? Yu Yang's Heaven Eyes divine vision could even see through an innate level 10 innate. Yu Yang's Heaven Eyes divine vision would not be able to see through it unless it was a heaven ranker or an innate supreme ranker. Fourth Mother, Yu Bing and Yu Shuang couldn't be innate rankers. If there was a secret in their bodies, who was it that hid it? The pitiful guy's mother. That was Fourth Mother's sister in Yu Yang's heart. This mysterious woman flashed in his heart again. It seemed that the pitiful guy's mother was really not simple. She was the first woman in history to enter the god's ruins. In the entire Tong Tian Tower, she was unknown, even in the soaring dragon continent. However, the mysterious ability that she displayed was simply beyond Yu Yang's imagination. She inherited knowledge like a vast ocean, possessed the black jade necklace that sealed Queen Vivian Li, and also knew the secret of the Heaven Stairway. She even left behind the Heaven Ascension scripture that could allow one to enter the Heaven Realm without going through the Heaven Realm door. The pitiful guy's mother was even more mysterious than the strongest human Ji Zun. Now, Yu Yang felt that Fourth Mother was very mysterious. Fourth Mother definitely knew some secrets, but for some reason she didn't mention it to everyone. Because of this small matter, Yu Yang remembered it in his heart. He was curious about the details that he didn't pay attention to before. Fourth Mother's body couldn't be touched, but for Yu Bing and Yu Shuang, Yu Yang decided to study them properly. Maybe there really was some shocking secret hidden in their bodies. Don't think too much. It's not good to give the fountain of youth to a child to drink. Yu chose to believe it. She felt that if a child drank too much of the fountain of youth, she would be a little girl who couldn't grow up. That was not a good thing. Yu Yang didn't want to let Yu Shuang drink at first. After all, she was too young. However, he couldn't resist the little girl's mouth. If she saw her sister drinking and didn't have a share, she would definitely cry. Moreover, the little loli was also quite cute. Raising a little loli was the great wish of all otakus. The legendary light source plan was just like that. This matter is over. City Mistress Fallen Flowers didn't probe further. She brought another news to Yu Yang. I heard that Fatty Hai and the others have returned. When are you going to visit the mysterious palace again? Yi Kong and Fatty Hai are back? How's the progress? Yu Yang felt that they had returned so quickly. Could it be that the exploration had failed? Nothing. City Mistress Fallen Flowers said. As expected, these guys were all pigs. So many innates in the Death Canyon have returned empty-handed. It's normal for them to be like this. It would be weird if they had any progress. Sickly Beauty covered her mouth and snickered. She wasn't optimistic about this exploration. However, when Yi Kong, Fatty Hai and the others set off complacently, she didn't want to dampen their enthusiasm. It could even be said that Jun Wuyu, Elder Yu Hai and the others already knew that this would be the outcome. They just let Fatty Hai and Yi Kong go. The outermost area of the god's ruins was the Death Canyon. There were many restrictions and mazes here. Moreover, the beasts here were ridiculously strong. Fatty Hai and the others had no experience. If they wanted to explore it, they would definitely be overestimating themselves. Yu Yang temporarily stopped his research and returned to the Yu Clan castle. Taking advantage of the fact that the Black Hell King wasn't in the mysterious palace, he decided to bring them there to train and increase their courage. He also wanted to see if Lu Ye's perforate deer could pass through the golden barrier. Yu Yang also wanted to see what the divine grimoire in the mysterious palace was like. When he returned, he found that Yi Kong, Fatty Hai and the others were all covered in dust. The Oxhead Fan Luan Tai and the 4 orc girls were all lying on the ground exhausted, not caring about their image at all. Anna was healing everyone. The strongest Ice Cube man Xue Tanlang, Prince Tian Luo and Elder Ning Hai, who refused to leave, were all injured to varying degrees. Only the lucky Bao Air was unharmed. Seeing that Yu Yang had returned, Fatty Hai became spirited and boasted loudly. You don't know who we met. The strong Fierce Tooth of the North. What? You don't know who Fierce Tooth of the North is? Damn, he is one of the 5 commanders of the Black Hell Army. War Tiger of the East, Gale of the West, Blood Hoofs of the South, Fierce Tooth of the North, Thunder of the Center. One of them is a tiger, one is a condor, one is an old ox, one is a wild boar, and one is a lizard. The one we met this time is that wild boar with thick skin and thick flesh, fierce tooth of the north. You don't know how scary he is. He is a level 7 innate, maybe even a level 8 innate. If we didn't run fast enough, we would have been annihilated. Then why did the wild boar run to Death Canyon? Yu Yang didn't think that a level 8 innate like Fierce Tooth of the North would be so bored as to chase after Fatty High and the others. I don't know the exact situation. When we saw him, he was hitting a giant bronze door. However, that giant bronze door had a protective shield. He was exhausted, but it was not damaged at all. It was a waste of effort. Fatty High was excited. He loved to see his enemies in trouble. Is he still there now? Yu Yang felt that if Fierce Tooth of the North was still there, he would go and kill him. I don't know. Fatty High shook his head. He shouldn't be there now. That giant bronze door actually has a time limit. It will open and close every 3 hours. I guess Fierce Tooth of the North was hitting the door because his subordinates were trapped inside. We actually walked past that door before, but it was open at that time. Elder Ning Hai respectfully reported to Yu Yang. What a pity. Yu Yang secretly felt pity. If they had found him the moment they came back, then this wild boar might not have been able to escape. It can't be? You can kill a level 7 or 8 innate Fierce Tooth of the North now. Are you really a human? Oxhead Fan Luan Tai reacted and was shocked. If I can't beat him, I can cut off one of his arms or legs. Of course, Yu Yang wouldn't say that after absorbing the Mother Earth potion, he already had the strength equivalent to an innate level 10 innate. He laughed and waved his hand. Everyone still believed this statement. Yu Yang was able to kill a level 6 innate sky dragon previously. They reckoned that Yu Yang would have a high chance of winning even if he fought a level 7 innate ranker. Facing a level 7 or 8 innate Fierce Tooth of the North, using the world exterminating wheel to ambush and cut off one of his arms was really possible. As for whether he could kill Fierce Tooth of the North, everyone felt that he was still a bit off. However, even if Yu Yang had this kind of growth speed, Yu Yang was already extremely abnormal. Is there a better place for us to take a look? Lin En and Prince Tian Luo felt that Yu Yang wouldn't just come here to laugh at them. There must be something good. Let's go. Shui Tanlang was a man of action. I need to rest. If it's an abnormal place like the Five Elements Palace, then I'll pass. I don't want to die young. Fatty High felt that the wind breath seabird was already troublesome enough. If another beast took a fancy to him, he might as well commit suicide with noodles. I'll raise my hand to sign up. There's nothing to be afraid of in the Five Elements Palace. Bao Er, who had been sleeping the whole time, was the only one who thought that the Five Elements Palace was a good place. It's not impossible for all of you to go, but you'll have to bear the consequences. I'm only in charge of leading the way, you guys take care of yourselves. Yu Yang stated in advance, then threw out the biggest temptation in the world. Over there, there's a divine grimoire. Not to mention the treasures inside, even the trash on the ground is silver-ranked. If you have the ability, then go ahead and pick it up. Yes, you didn't hear wrongly. I'm talking about the divine grimoire. Wow, does the divine grimoire really exist? Even Lu Yi, who was never tempted by material things, was so excited that her face turned red. What kind of concept was the divine grimoire? Even the Black Hell King was drooling. No one knew how many years the tragic Black Hell King had been knocking on the divine grimoire, but he couldn't even enter the golden barrier. For Yi Kong, Fatty High and the others who had never seen the divine grimoire before, when Yu Yang mentioned the divine grimoire, they were all dumbfounded. They couldn't think at all. Actually, if they still had a clear mind, they would know that no matter how powerful the divine grimoire was, they wouldn't have a share in it, because the divine grimoire chose its owner. Even if it was placed in front of it, it wouldn't choose it if it wasn't strong enough. Otherwise, why would the Black Hell King be so depressed? Only Yu Yang knew that there were only 10 divine grimoires in total. The number of divine grimoires was extremely small. Only the legendary deities could possess a divine grimoire. Of course, Yu Yang wasn't sure if the other divine grimoire was a divine grimoire. He guessed that it might be, and guessed that it was a divine grimoire that was still growing. Not to mention that Yu Yang was a guy from another world. People like Queen Vivian Li and the 3 great leaders of Heaven Realm, Ming Yu Guang, only possessed a divine grimoire. The divine grimoire was something that ordinary warriors could only dream of. That was a dream that could never be touched. Even if it really existed in the world, it did not belong to mortals. Did you say that it's very dangerous there? Yikong suddenly asked. It's not that dangerous, it's just that the Black Hell King would appear occasionally. Yu Yang's words immediately scared Fatty Hai. Xue Tan Lang and the others were also shocked. Chapter 484. When the Black Hell King's name was mentioned, everyone was terrified. Fierce Tooth of the North, the wild boar commander, was incomparable to the Black Hell King. With Yu Yang around, if they were to meet the wild boar Fierce Tooth of the North, they would still have a chance to escape. However, even if they had Yu Yang by their side, they would still die if they met the Black Hell King. There was no chance of survival. Everyone felt that the Black Hell King was at least a supreme innate level 10 peak innate. If they knew the truth and knew that the Black Hell King had the power of heaven ranked level 1 or even level 2, they would feel even more despair. Of course, to Fatty Hai and the others, there wasn't much of a difference between a level 10 innate and a level 1 heaven ranker, because they would be able to kill them instantly. If the enemy was innate level 5 and above, they would be killed instantly. This included Xue Tanlang, who was the strongest in the team. I'm not going, I don't want to die. That wild boar Fierce Tooth of the North had already scared me so much that I almost peed my pants. Black Hell King, that fellow will definitely skin me alive and roast me alive, I don't want to die. Fatty Hai hugged Yu Yang's leg and cried loudly. He definitely wouldn't go to such a dangerous place. Yikong kicked this cowardly Fatty to the ground, and together with the Li brothers, they forcefully dragged Fatty Hai away. Don't worry, the Black Hell King would at most kill you instantly. He has no interest in your flesh. Yikong's words made Fatty Hai cry even harder. Let's go. Xue Tanlang's fear had already turned into battle intent. Actually, everyone knew that if the Black Hell King appeared, Yu Yang would definitely not lead them to their death. But even if the Black Hell King didn't appear, that place was still extremely dangerous. Otherwise, he wouldn't have warned everyone to be careful. The eyes of Xue Tanlang and the others flashed with the desire to fight. Following Yu Yang, they were playing with their hearts pounding. However, this was also very satisfying. As a man, rather than living a mediocre life, it was better to live a vigorous life. Since the Black Hell King was going to the place, he had to see it no matter what. Not only Xue Tanlang and the others, even the quiet Lu Yi and Anna, and even the fearless Bao Er could not suppress the excitement on their faces. Thrilling. This was really exciting. As for the brave Oxhead Fan Luan Tai, she was even more impatient, urging Yu Yang to hurry up. Returning to the mysterious palace, Yu Yang had actually gone there once to investigate. He only left after seeing the Black Hell King leave. During this period, Yu Yang had already grasped a little of the Black Hell King's movement patterns. Every 3 days, the Black Hell King would appear in front of the golden barrier. He would knock on it for half an hour each time, using this as a pretext to train and open the golden barrier. The Black Hell King was extremely cautious. Even if there were no accidents, he would always carry out a routine investigation. Fortunately, Yu Yang had already figured this out. He also had a way to deal with it, and that was to secretly learn from the ultimate assassin and Shi's stealth. The Black Hell King wouldn't be able to detect this concealment. Even if they were discovered by the Black Hell King, Yu Yang could also throw Yikong, Fatty High and the rest into the grimoire world and escape with them. After being strengthened by the Mother Earth potion, even if Yu Yang couldn't defeat the Black Hell King, he wasn't afraid of him. Fatty High was so scared that his teeth chattered and his body trembled. Actually, the Black Hell King had already left and wouldn't appear for the next 3 days. Yu Yang didn't say it out as a way to train their courage. He believed that after the threat of death from the Black Hell King, they wouldn't be afraid of the fierce tooth of the North anymore. The whole team was very careful and didn't dare to breathe too loudly. Only Bao Er wasn't afraid of anything. She even said to Yu Yang, "This place is so beautiful. Why don't we move here after we defeat the Black Hell King?" "This is a good idea." Yu Yang was a little speechless. Defeat the Black Hell King? Unless they could kill him, this home would never be safe. I don't want to be neighbors with the Black Hell King, and I don't want him to knock on my door in the middle of the night. Fatty High felt goosebumps when he thought of this. It's so beautiful. When they came to the front of the golden barrier, Lu Yi and the rest had little stars in their eyes. Looks like it won't be easy to enter. This barrier is too big and its energy is unimaginably vast. As expected of the Divine Grimoire's barrier. Before Lin and could finish his sentence, the ox-head Fan Luan Tai slashed at it with her axe. In the end, she was sent flying 200 meters away. Everyone's jaws dropped to the ground. Wasn't the defense of this golden barrier too terrifying? The battered ox-head Fan Luan Tai immediately became listless. She knew that her brute force couldn't be used, and could only rely on Yu Yang now. Fatty High, Yi Kong and Xue Tan Lang all tried. Although they were mentally prepared, they quickly realized that the rebound force wasn't just their own attack force, there was also an irresistible force. When the two forces combined, they were sent flying 100 meters away. Their ending wasn't much better than Fan Luan Tai's. Anna looked at Yu Yang. Using force definitely won't work. Do you have any ideas? Yu Yang shrugged his shoulders. If I had a way, I would have already gone in to move the treasures. Not to mention me, even the Black Hell King can only watch helplessly. Fatty High heard this and became excited. He climbed up and rushed to Yu Yang and asked excitedly, "You mean, none of the treasures inside were touched? And they're all still here? Wow, if I go in and pick up another divine equipment." Yi Kong gave a flying kick and sent this daydreaming fool flying 10 meters away. It wasn't impossible to daydream, but it had to be done at the right time. Prince of Tianluo and Lin En started to understand why Yu Yang brought everyone here. It was because there was Lu Yi in the team. Lu Yi saw that everyone was looking at her and blushed. She lowered her head and said softly, I'll try." She summoned her grimoire and summoned her guardian beast, Perforate Deer. She ordered it to rush towards the golden barrier. The result was within Yu Yang's expectations. The perforated deer didn't bounce back, but after it entered the golden shield, it instantly lost its connection with its owner. Without high intelligence, it didn't know what to do. It stood there in a daze, frozen and trapped in the golden shield. Immediately, Lu Yi, who was afraid that it would get hurt, quickly recalled the Perforate Deer back into her grimoire. It was possible for Perforate Deer to pass through the golden barrier, but with Lu Ye's and Perforate Deer's current strength, it was impossible. Yu Yang nodded. As long as there was hope, it was fine. No matter what, it was better than the Black Hell King's relentless attacks. As long as Yu Yang thought of a way to increase Lu Ye's strength and level up Perforate Deer, it was still possible for them to pass through the golden barrier. Yu Yang had thought of this outcome before, and he was very satisfied with it. I'm sorry." Lu Yi apologized to Yu Yang in embarrassment. She knew that Yu Yang must have high hopes for her. He must be very disappointed with her failure this time, so she felt very guilty. Perforate Deer didn't have any fighting power, its level was too low, and it didn't have high intelligence. Once it left its owner's control, it wouldn't know what to do. "Let him help you level up your guardian beast. He should have a way." Anna quickly comforted Lu Yi. "Help me level up too." Bao Er hugged Yu Yang's arm and shook it. Yes, I'm willing to serve you, beautiful Miss Golden Elf. Yu Yang's joke made Bao Er extremely happy. Everyone also laughed. Actually, Yu Yang didn't bother with Bao Er. He felt that it was necessary to level up this big lowly golden elf's guardian beast. After all, Bao Er's guardian beast was the little flower fairy that increased her luck. There was no treasure in this world that was more powerful than luck. With luck, you would have everything. Without luck, it would be the unlucky Black Hell King who could only stare at the golden barrier for the rest of his life. To Yu Yang, Bao Er was a human-shaped treasure that increased his luck. If he didn't level her up, it would be a waste of a human-shaped treasure that could be leveled up. On the way back, Bao Er, the unbeatable lucky star, gave Yu Yang another surprise. She bumped into something and actually triggered a hidden mechanism that Yu Yang didn't notice. A special and broken teleportation circle shot out from the ground with sparks. Yu Yang didn't have time to figure it out. He only knew that this was a rare opportunity. He kicked Fatty Hai into the teleportation circle and carried Bao Er and Lu Yi with each hand. He led everyone into the teleportation circle that was about to disappear due to lack of energy. Plop, plop, plop. When the last Hui Tai Lang fell into the water, Yu Yang realized that he was teleported to a dark and huge special space. Let go of me. Lu Yi shook her body shyly, trying to break free from his big hands. Yu Yang didn't see it clearly just now. He held Lu Ye's waist with one hand and pressed his big hand on her chest. He even held her small and fragrant little pigeon. Don't let go, I don't want to fall into the water. Bao Er hugged Yu Yang tightly, her long legs clamping onto Yu Yang's waist. She, who had night vision, laughed out loud when she saw Fatty Hai and the rest falling into the water. She felt that it was safer to stay on Yu Yang's body. Although everyone reacted very quickly, they were already drenched all over, and all of them were in a very sorry state. Lu Yi struggled in Yu Yang's hands for a while. She felt his big hands loosen a little, but she was still embarrassed. This is actually the ancient passage in the God's ruins. Yu Yang used his heaven eyes' divine vision to observe and came to a conclusion that shocked him. The divine palace was actually connected to the God's ruins. Was there a connection between the two? The mysterious palace, could it be a part of the God's ruins? Anywhere is fine, as long as we can stay away from the Black Hell King. Fatty Hai finally felt more at ease. Move aside. Xue Tan Lang knew that the real training for this trip had just begun. The previous dangers could be predicted, but the changes now were unknown even to Yu Yang. Being in the ancient passage in the God's ruins, if one didn't use 100% of their energy, even if Yu Yang was by their side, their lives would still be in danger. This was definitely not a place to joke around. After a while, he and Prince of Tian Luo found an exit. It was a guillotine door. There were countless strange places like this in the ancient passage. No matter what passed through the guillotine door, it would be cut in half by the invisible guillotine. Xue Tan Lang didn't have Heaven Eye's divine vision, but as a warrior, he instinctively felt danger. He picked up a stone and threw it towards the exit. As a result, the stone cracked into two halves. Fatty Hai was so scared that he trembled and quickly retreated behind Yu Yang. Although he claimed to be the boss, but with Yu Yang around, he definitely wouldn't stand out. He would obediently be a follower. If Lu Yi wasn't here, Xue Tan Lang and the rest would have to forcefully tear down the entire mechanism wall. They would probably be exhausted and might even attract powerful ancient beasts. Go and try. Yu Yang could easily pass through, but he decided to take the opportunity to train Lu Yi. Yes. Lu Yi felt a slight pain in her breasts where his hot hands had held. Although she knew that he didn't mean it, she was still extremely embarrassed. Her chest felt weird and she wanted to reach out and rub it to soothe it. Her body was also a little weak. She seemed to have a problem walking, but everyone was watching. Lu Yi didn't want everyone to find out that something was wrong with her, so she quickly lowered her head and pretended that nothing had happened. She forced herself to calm down and summoned her guardian beast, Perforate Deer. In front of the golden barrier, Perforate Deer failed to break through. This time, she decided to put on a good performance and not let him down. Chapter 485. A silver deer flashed in the golden light. Its 4 slender limbs moved lightly, instantly turning into a stream of light, cutting through the air. When everyone's eyes refocused, they found that it was already standing safely in the passage outside the guillotine gate. Looking back, it was very cute. Although it didn't have super high intelligence, this Perforate Deer was still a very intelligent little animal. How do you bring us there? Fatty Hai felt that Lu Yi and Bao Er could ride on it, but if he rode on this deer, it would be strange if he didn't collapse. Shut up, no one will think you are mute if you don't speak. Yi Kong and Fatty Hai were natural enemies, except in battle. Who knows how to teleport? Yu Yang asked. In the end, only one person raised his hand. This wasn't surprising. What surprised Yu Yang was that the person who knew how to teleport was actually the big lowly Bao Er. You actually know how to teleport? Are you sure you know how to teleport? Even Ning Hai, the self-proclaimed master, didn't know. He was extremely shocked that Bao Er knew how to teleport. If it was super speed movement, many people could fly 100 meters in a second. Xue Tanlang, Prince of Tianluo, Yi Kong, and even Fatty Hai could do it. According to their speed, their super speed movement was even faster than normal innate rankers, teleportation. When normal innates used teleportation, they might not be faster than their normal movement. However, teleportation was teleportation. No matter how fast it was irreplaceable. Of course, teleportation was related to each person's growth and attribute. Some people could easily learn teleportation. For example, Xue Wuxia could successfully use her light wind teleportation at a young age. It was completely equivalent to an inherent skill. As for Xue Wuxia's brother, Xue Tanlang, he was also extremely talented and even had the wind attribute. His speed far surpassed warriors of the same level, but he couldn't understand the teleportation skill. Looking at Yu Yang, he only watched the Marquis of Zijin use it a few times and he successfully learned teleportation. Of course, Yu Yang was a super abnormal guy from another world. It wasn't appropriate to use him as a comparison. If they were to compare the bald master Ning Hai, this old fellow who had lived for hundreds of years and knew countless skills, he just couldn't learn teleportation. That was strange. Actually, the real reason was that without comprehension, one would not be able to learn how to teleport. Teleportation is a breakthrough in comprehension. It is a challenge that surpasses the limits of one's body. It can be said to be very difficult, and some people will never be able to learn it in their entire life. It could also be said that it was very easy. Some people, like me, could successfully master it in a day. If you want to learn it, it has to do with your perception. The better your perception, the faster you can learn it. Yu Yang's words caused Ning Hai, the old man, to cry, while Bao was very proud. Didn't he say that she had good comprehension? Xue Tanlang clenched his fists tightly. He could be weak, but he could not allow himself to be weak. If a person's comprehension was insufficient, then what was the point of cultivating? Yu Yang actually knew that it was possible for Xue Tanlang and the others to learn teleportation. Their abilities and realms were all there, but their thinking was too rigid. They were used to moving at an extremely fast speed. What they did was teleportation. They could move very far in an instant, but it was not teleportation. They were used to it, so they could not surpass themselves. Usually, they would have a teacher to guide them. This was because Jun Wuyu, Elder Yu Hai and the others did not know teleportation. And the old fox who was good at teleportation, after teaching his abnormal disciple, Yu Yang, He no longer had the patience to teach Fatty Hai and the others about teleportation. He only taught them the techniques of aerial combat. The hardest part of the teleportation is to sense a target. That target must be within the range of your ability. Some people can sense it very far, while others can only sense it very close. But it doesn't matter. No matter the distance, as long as you can sense it, the distance will slowly increase. Yu Yang kindly guided them. Using qi to sense it? Yi Kong asked. No, qi is only used to sense the surface. Teleportation requires more senses. To be more precise, you have to use your heart to sense it. When Yu Yang said this, Bao Er nodded her head furiously. Actually, it was because of her innate talent that she did not know any teleportation technique. She was only born with the ability to sense it with her heart. And then? This time, it was Linen's turn to be a humble primary school student. When the Wei teleportation technique is successful, and you feel that you can grasp everything about the target, then you can try to move or jump closer to the target. You have to use the energy in your body, not to let it explode to your legs. Instead, you have to give the energy to your heart, and let the heart control your body. During that process, you will feel a lot of difficulties. For example, your body might not be able to move, or you might be stopped by some kind of power before you teleport, or you might have the illusion that you are being pulled back by someone. There are many problems that I don't want to explain one by one, and I don't need to explain. I just want to tell you that you have to believe in me. You will definitely be able to move, and the teleportation will definitely succeed. Believe in me and believe that you can do it. That will be enough. Yu Yang explained the method of using the energy in one's body during the teleportation technique. This was his best understanding and the best teleportation technique. He did not expect everyone to be able to learn it. However, as long as everyone could get some inspiration from this best technique and slowly practice it, it would be enough. The most embarrassing thing was that after Bao Er heard it, she tilted her head to one side. She seemed to be unable to understand Yu Yang's words. She even asked, "Can I teleport like this? I don't need to think about anything. As long as I give it to the flower fairy, she will teleport me to the place I want to go. I think this is better." Fatty Hai and the others all fell to the ground. It turned out that Bao Er's teleportation technique was completely passive. It was not something that she could control at all. "Hey, I can teleport like this." Bao Er was about to get angry. In fact, it was true. No matter what method it was fine as long as it could teleport. Shui Wuxia's light wind teleportation was different from Yu Yang's light wind teleportation. Shui Wuxia's light wind teleportation required wind and air. In a vacuum environment, it was impossible to teleport. Yu Yang's light wind teleportation did not require it at all. The only place that could not be teleported was the place where the target could not be sensed. However, there were very few vacuum environments. Furthermore, after body fusion with Yu Yang, Shui Wuxia had also mastered Yu Yang's teleportation technique. It was just that she preferred to use the light wind teleportation that she was better at. Shui Tanlang put down his cool face and humbly asked Yu Yang a few questions. Towards this brother-in-law of his, he did not show it on the surface, but he definitely worshipped him in his heart. Learning from Yu Yang and following in his brother-in-law's footsteps was his biggest wish. Prince Tian Luo also desired to learn teleportation and listened carefully. Not only the two of them, Lin En, Anna and Lu Yi also had a thoughtful look on their faces. On the other hand, Yi Kong, Fatty Hai, the Li brothers, the oxhead Fan Luantai and the bald Ning Hai were completely confused. As for the oxhead Li Ao and the 4 orc girls, they had already given up on learning. They knew that they were not that kind of material, so they might as well save their breath. In the end, the old man Ning Hai also let out a long sigh. He had given up on learning. How could it be easy to learn a skill that he could not learn for his entire life in a few minutes? Regarding teleportation, the one who learned it the fastest was not Xue Tanlang, nor was it Prince Tian Luo or Lu Yi who had the perforate deer. It was Hui Tai Lang. After listening to Yu Yang's words, it quickly understood. After almost failing, Hui Tai Lang accidentally grasped their teleportation technique and successfully teleported. Although the effect of teleportation was very bad, it deviated from its target by more than 10 meters and crashed straight into the rock wall. However, its performance still made Xue Tanlang and the others dumbfounded and ashamed. Could it be that a dignified human could not compare to a wolf? Fatty Hai was about to cry. He realized that he really could not compare to a wolf, especially when this wolf was Hui Tai Lang. Success. Half an hour later, Xue Tanlang successfully teleported 10 meters away. Although it deviated by 3 meters, his face was still flushed with excitement as he howled excitedly towards the sky. Woof, a woo, a woo. Hui Tai Lang howled towards the sky. He had now completely grasped teleportation and would not deviate at all. Although the teleportation distance was not considered far, it was undoubtedly much better than Xue Tanlang. Plop! Fatty Hai was so anxious that he let out a loud fart. After everyone heard it, they all scrambled to avoid it. Under this kind of pressure, Lu Yi, Prince Tian Luo and Anna all successfully teleported. Especially Lu Yi, who had the most accurate grasp of teleportation. She who had a natural advantage, in order to give Yu Yang a surprise, bravely teleported to the outside of the guillotine gate. She went to the side of her guardian beast, and became the first person to pass through the barrier of the guillotine gate. Of course, in front of her, Hui Tai Lang was already jumping around. It quickly teleported inside and outside, trying its best to provoke Fatty Hai, wanting him to let out another loud fart. Yu Yang decided to give everyone a little more pressure. He teleported to Lu Ye's side and inserted a crystal pillar that emitted energy waves into the ground. Those who can teleport come over. Those who can't, wait for the guillotine gate to open automatically. It should open once a day. I won't wait, you guys slowly practice. When he said that, Bao Er became anxious. Wait for me. She couldn't wait to summon her guardian beast and closed her eyes. With a wave of the small flower fairy's hand, she instantly teleported to Yu Yang's side. She hugged his arm and proudly raised her small face. Let's go and find the treasure first. When we find the treasure, we'll take it first. Lu Yi originally wanted to stay and practice with everyone, but Yu Yang waved his hand. You follow too. Her heart inexplicably jumped a few times. She hurriedly lowered her head, not daring to look at his eyes. She weakly replied, Yes. After Yu Yang, Bao Er and Lu Yi left. Everyone heaved a sigh of relief. It was too painful to have such a strict teacher, especially when this teacher was still very young. It made them feel even more ashamed. Xue Tanlang, Prince Tian Luo and Anna, who had learned how to teleport, did not follow. The three of them knew that Yu Yang had the intention to specially train Bao Er and Lu Yi, especially Lu Yi, who had the perforate deer and the purification inherent skill. It seemed like she would be the focus of his training. Chapter 486. I'm such a pighead. Even now, I still can't learn it. Fatty Hai beat his chest and stamped his feet. Actually, he felt a little bit of it, but he kept failing. After hundreds of attempts, he did not succeed even once. You only know now that you're a pighead? Yi Kong had also failed a few hundred times. However, he had at least succeeded once. Although he was too excited afterwards and didn't manage to grasp that feeling, and had to start all over again, he had at least succeeded once. Compared to Fatty Hai, he was still considered to be a little stronger. Therefore, he hit Fatty Hai even more when he was down. La 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 la. What was even more infuriating was Hui Tai Lang. He teleported from Fatty High's side, shaking his buttocks and wagging his tail as he danced in the palace. His attitude was so arrogant that it made Fatty High cry even more. Xue Tanlang clenched his fists tightly. Not only did he want to succeed, he wanted to be fast. He wanted to be like Yu Yang, teleporting at will. Although he knew that there was still a huge gap between him and his brother-in-law, he would never lower his requirements. Instead, he always used extremely strict standards and vowed to be as perfect as Yu Yang. In terms of training, he had always been a perfectionist. Of course, it was not only Xue Tanlang, but also Prince of Tianluo and even Yi Kong. Lin En and the rest were already used to their masochistic training. They also understood why humans grew so much faster than the elves, oxheads, orcs and other races. The reason why human warriors grew so fast was not because they were superior to other races. On the contrary, humans were born with the least advantages. They had short lifespans, poor abilities and harsh living conditions. The reason why humans were able to produce strong warriors so quickly was very simple. It was because human warriors were too focused and crazy in their training compared to the elves and oxhead. Let's not talk about Yu Yang. If we were to compare the young human Xue Tanlang, his 1 year of training would at least be comparable to the 30 years of training of the peaceful Golden Elves, or even more. With this comparison, it was not difficult to understand why a Golden Elf warrior who had lived for hundreds of years could not compare to Xue Tanlang, who was not even 20 years old. While Fatty High and the rest continued to train hard, on the other side of the passage, Yu Yang brought Lu Yi and Bao forward to explore. Lu Yi lowered her head. After following Yu Yang for a long distance, she suddenly asked softly, "Do you have something to tell me?" She felt that Yu Yang had looked at her a few times along the way. Could it be that he had something to say to her? Although she was shy, she couldn't help but ask. "I'll tell you when the time is right." When Yu Yang said this, Lu Yi suddenly understood. With Bao here, it shouldn't be convenient for him to say it, but what would he say to her? Lu Yi was a little curious and looked up at Yu Yang's face. Seeing his smile, her heart inexplicably jumped a few times. She quickly lowered her head and did not dare to look again. Yu Yang pointed to a dark path in front of them and said to Lu Yi, "Let's do a special training first. Bao and I will be in charge of concealing ourselves. You have to act like hide and seek and use the perforate deer to find us. We will conceal ourselves 10 times. If you can find us 10 times, then you pass. Otherwise, I won't give you any special training in the future." "Yes, I will do my best." Lu Yi was actually very eager to have a chance to prove herself in front of Yu Yang. She couldn't tell why. On the contrary, seeing him disappointed was what she didn't want the most. For example, when the perforate deer stopped at the golden barrier and couldn't successfully pass through, it made her secretly sad for a long time. Sense it, you must pay attention to feeling it with your heart. I believe you can do it, you are very talented. Yu Yang gave Lu Yi a bright smile to encourage her. Lu Yi looked at Yu Yang and didn't say anything. She just nodded very seriously. It took a lot of effort for her to suppress the excitement in her heart. After hearing his praise, Lu Yi felt an indescribable excitement in her whole body. An hour later, the exhausted Lu Yi walked in the dark, forcing her mind to sense her surroundings. She was only left with the last 2 times. The further she went, the more difficult it would be to sense him. To be precise, every time she found Yu Yang, his next hiding would be slightly more difficult. It was fine at the beginning, but after 5 times, it would take a lot of energy to sense him. Even if he wasn't hiding very far away, even if he was within 50 meters of her and kept looking at her, she couldn't find him. She suppressed her tired spirit, focused her attention, and felt it with her heart. Lu Yi searched for the dark surroundings over and over again. She sensed wrongly more than a dozen times, and she couldn't continue sensing because of her mental exhaustion. But she didn't give up and bit her cherry lip. Finally, there was a slight flash of feeling. Lu Yi was so excited that she almost screamed. But while the feeling was still there, she immediately ordered the perforate deer to go over and determine the target. When the perforate deer arrived, Lu Yi once again resisted the dizziness in her head and used teleportation to rush to Yu Yang's side. According to the rules, she caught him. The 9th special training was considered a success. Because of the extreme mental exhaustion, there was a slight deviation in the teleportation. Her hand didn't catch him, but instead, she hit the wall behind him. "Are you okay?" Yu Yang reached out and gently supported Lu Yi, who had fallen to the ground. "No, I'm fine. I still need one more time." Lu Yi was embarrassed. She covered her hurting forehead and shook her head in embarrassment. Why was she so stupid? Why did she always make a fool of herself in front of him? "Do you want to rest?" Yu Yang rubbed her forehead and used his innate qi to disperse the blood on her swollen forehead. He asked her if she wanted to rest. "No need." Lu Yi shook her head stubbornly. She actually wanted to rest. Her body was already overdrawn and she was really tired. If she sat on the ground, she would definitely not be able to get up again. Even though she knew that the ground was full of mud and extremely dirty, she still had a desire to lie down and rest immediately. But when he asked if she wanted to rest, Lu Yi had a strong stubbornness. She didn't want him to see her weakness. Not only did she have to meet his requirements, but she also had to exceed his expectations. Lu Yi tried hard to stand up straight, trying not to let him see that she had reached her limit. She nodded heavily, indicating that she could do it. Secretly, she was holding back her tears. She also clenched her teeth. She didn't want to show her weakness, and she didn't want him to know. 3 hours later, Lu Yi stumbled in the passage. She couldn't remember how many times she had fallen or how many times she had failed to sense him. There was one time when she fell to the ground and even thought of giving up. This was because she suddenly had a kind of suspicion in her heart. She suspected that Yu Yang had already left and left her here to train alone. However, she immediately rejected that kind of thought that would waver her willpower. She firmly believed that Yu Yang was not far from her. He had always been watching her in the darkness. Her cowardly tears and her useless failure had all fallen into his eyes. He must be very disappointed in her. She must not let him down. She had met his requirements, and she had to exceed his expectations. No one had ever been sure of her, only him. Only him. With an unimaginable tenacity, Lu Yi stood up again and tried to sense him again and again. In a state of exhaustion, she struggled to support her body and overdraft her spirit, constantly exploring and sensing his existence. Her body reached its limit countless times, and she almost fainted. She forced herself to hold on. Finally, in one of her senses, she found a very small breath. It seemed to be his breath, but it also seemed like an illusion. But Lu Yi quickly bit the tip of her tongue and used the pain to stimulate her numb spirit, trying to sense it. At the moment when she clearly sensed it, something in her mind suddenly exploded, like a broken mirror, or like the sudden collapse of ice. In short, Lu Yi felt that something in her mind had broken. She had a terrible headache, and the tendons in her body were twitching. Even if she died, she had to teleport to his side and complete his request. Lu Yi was determined. She summoned her grimoire and summoned her guardian beast, Perforate Deer. "Go, little deer." Lu Yi pointed to a dark place and ordered the silver deer to go. Then, before she fainted, she followed the Perforate Deer and teleported. "Well done." Lu Yi felt herself falling into a warm embrace, and strong hands caught her falling body. His voice rang out. It seemed to be praising her, however. Lu Yi didn't hear it clearly and fainted. She, who was in a daze, did not see that her grimoire was emitting countless rays of golden light. A golden pillar of light rose up and enveloped her body. As for the silver deer that was bathed in the golden light, its body slowly changed shape and grew a little bigger. The tiny antlers on its head also extended into a small fork. After Lu Yi broke through her limit, her level increased. Her guardian beast, Perforate Deer, also increased at the same time. It was promoted from Silver Level 2 to Silver Level 3. Moreover, Lu Yi didn't know what she did at the last moment. When the Perforate Deer arrived at Yu Yang's side, she didn't take the time to sense it like usual. She didn't determine the target and hurriedly teleported. Even at the last moment, she synchronized with the Perforate Deer and arrived in front of Yu Yang at the same time. This was the result that Yu Yang wanted to see the most. Originally, Yu Yang had thought of using a month or even 3 months to train her so that Lu Yi could synchronize with the Perforate Deer's teleportation. He didn't expect that this stubborn Lu Yi only used 3 hours to do it. Her innate talent, combined with her stubborn willpower, the power that she could unleash was beyond Yu Yang's expectations. Although she had not really achieved teleportation in one body, with this successful start, Yu Yang believed that as long as he used his innate qi to open up the meridians in her body, and then used Nirvana Flame to purify her body, Lu Yi would be able to master teleportation in one body with her guardian beast, Perforate Deer, after training for half a month or even shorter. If she could do that, then her future would be limitless. The golden barrier of the mysterious palace and the various restrictions of the god's ruins probably wouldn't be able to stop her with Lu Yi. Yu Yang felt that he could enter the mysterious palace before the Black Hell King. Let the Black Hell King continue to attack the golden barrier from the outside. Anyway, this guy's fate was destined to be tragic. Chapter 487. When Lu Yi woke up, she realized that she was lying on Yu Yang's back. At the side, Bao Er the golden elf was cheering, as if she was cheering for someone. Lu Yi quietly raised her head and looked over Yu Yang's shoulder. She was shocked. She realized that there was a huge space in front of her. Fatty Hai, Yi Kong, Xue Tan Lang and the others were fighting fiercely. Countless monsters were like a tide, surging out from the huge blood pool. What's going on? Lu Yi was shocked. You're awake. I was the one who found this blood lake torture chamber. I'm amazing, right? Bao Er proudly showed off. Lu Yi roughly understood what was going on from Bao Er's incoherent, confusing and illogical speech. With Yu Yang's occasional additions, she finally understood. So Bao Er was the same as her, participating in the special training. However, her special training was 10,000 times easier than hers, because the task that Yu Yang gave her was to sleep. Bao Er didn't need to do anything. She just needed to sleep and let Yu Yang adjust her body. When she woke up, she realized that she had improved a lot. She was secretly a little proud, but there was no one else around, so she couldn't show off. Lu Yi was unconscious and Bao Er had nothing to do. She was so bored that she could only wander around. When she was waiting for Xue Tan Lang and the others to come, she accidentally opened another secret door. After Yu Yang's appraisal, this ancient secret door could actually be opened. However, ordinary people's strength would not be able to move it. Only innate level 5 and above could open it. Although the person who opened the secret door was Yu Yang, Bao Er still gave most of the credit to herself. Just like that, Yu Yang and Bao Er found this Blood Lake torture chamber. This was the entrance to the Blood Lake torture chamber. Beside Yu Yang, there was a strange ancient obelisk. On it, there was a sentence written in heaven runes. If it was translated into modern words, it would be, Giant Wu Su blasphemed God. He committed a heinous crime and must receive the most severe punishment. Death is not enough to atone for his crimes, so this Blood Lake torture chamber was specially built. He will be tortured here until 100,000 years later, when he is released. He will officially receive the death sentence. Yu Yang couldn't recognize the combination of these heaven runes, but he had a rough idea. That was to say, there was a giant called Wu Su who was imprisoned in this Blood Lake torture chamber. He would be imprisoned and tortured for 100,000 years before he could be executed. If it were any other powerhouse, they might have acted like a savior and thought of a way to save the Wu Su giant. Yu Yang didn't have that much of a headache. He also wanted to see Wu Su, but not to save him, but to kill him. Yu Yang guessed that there must be some kind of treasure that could trap Wu Su for 100,000 years. Whether Wu Su had to be tortured for 100,000 years, Yu Yang didn't care. What he liked was the treasure that trapped this giant. If there really wasn't any treasure, then he would kill this giant. Yu Yang felt that his Hui Jin magic blade was still lacking in evil soul. If he devoured it, he might be able to refine it into a holy ranked weapon. It wasn't that there weren't any holy ranked weapons. The god-killing dagger was one, and it was a top-grade one. However, the Hui Jin magic blade was made by Yu Yang using his own blood, so it was more important. The possibility of the platinum-ranked crescent moon being upgraded was not high, but the Hui Jin magic blade could be upgraded. As long as there was an evil and strong warrior's soul, the Bone Dragon's Demon Dragon Crystal, the Flame Lord's Flame Heart, the Dark Golden Spectre's Black Soul Pearl, and the Golden Golem's Silver Soul Pearl. With these conditions, it was definitely possible for the Hui Jin magic blade to be upgraded to a holy ranked weapon. It might even become a top-grade holy ranked weapon. As for upgrading it to a divine ranked weapon, Yu Yang didn't want to think about it at the moment. Divine ranked weapons weren't something that could be upgraded just because one wanted to. The owner had to be strong enough. Furthermore, Yu Yang didn't lack divine ranked weapons. Wasn't the prison Emperor Divine Seal still there? Even if it didn't recognize him as its owner, Yu Yang could only use it to smash chestnuts for now. Do your best, be careful, there are a few more blood pythons coming out. Bao Er cheered Fatty Hai and the others excitedly. Little ancestor, it's fine if you don't want to help, but don't open your mouth again. My heart is trembling when I hear you. Fatty Hai begged Bao Er not to shout as if he was begging his grandpa and grandma, because if she shouted, a few strong monsters would appear out of nowhere. Of course, he knew that he couldn't blame Bao Er. This Blood Lake torture chamber was such an abnormal place. They had already killed tens of thousands of ancient beasts, but there was still an endless stream of them coming out. All of you, get out of the way! Shui Tanlang was enraged. He exploded with a terrifying aura and rotated with the storm giant. The entrance of the Blood Lake torture chamber turned into a world of ice and snow in an instant. Countless snowflakes floated down from the sky. Shui Tanlang's guardian beast, the storm giant, turned everything into ice sculptures wherever it passed. Even the gold-ranked level 6 giant blood pythons rolled on the ground in pain, gradually becoming stiff. Prince of Tian Luo cooperated well. His guardian beast, Skyfire Meteor, was summoned and crashed down from the dome. Even the most powerful blood python was unable to withstand the dual attacks of Frost and Meteor. One by one, they turned into corpses that were either shattered or charred, dying miserably on the spot. Throughout the whole battle, Yu Yang didn't make a move at all. He only watched Yi Kong and Fatty Hai fight. This was just the beginning. There would be more and more cruel battles waiting for them. However, this kind of battle was an extremely good stimulant for cultivation. Although it was painful, it was certain that as long as Yi Kong, Fatty Hai, Shui Tanlang and the others could endure it, leveling up would definitely not be a problem. At the entrance of the Blood Lake torture chamber, after 1 hour and 5 minutes, they passed. At the first floor of the Blood Lake torture chamber, after 3 hours, Yi Kong, Fatty Hai and the others used their great totem battle technique and passed. At the second floor, after 5 hours and 17 minutes, the Li brothers fainted from their heavy injuries. The Oxhead Li Ao and Elder Ning Hai collapsed on the ground. Passed. At the third floor, after 9 hours and 23 minutes, Fatty Hai transformed into an ugly behemoth and exhausted all his energy. The 4 orc girls and the Oxhead Fan Luan Tai collapsed on the ground. Lin En was heavily injured. Passed. At the fourth floor, after 18 hours and 42 minutes, Yi Kong was heavily injured, Shui Tanlang and Prince of Tian Luo were heavily injured, Anna fainted, Lu Yi fainted, Fatty Hai collapsed on the ground after his second transformation, the Oxhead Liao's horn was broken, the Li brothers were heavily injured and on the verge of death. Other than Yu Yang, only Bao Er still had energy left. Past. At the 5th floor, when the whole team reached the 5th floor, they arrived at the real Blood Lake torture chamber. The weakest monster here was also the strongest gold-ranked level 6 giant blood python outside. There was only one person who could fight, and that was Yu Yang. Hui Tai Lang summoned his grimoire and raised his protective shield, protecting the whole team in the middle. Yu Yang took a big step forward, emitting the aura of a demon king. All the monsters ran away when they heard him. 2 kilometers away, there was a wall that was close to 1,000 meters tall. Several dark golden chains hung down from it, and a person was hanging from it. This person was an unimaginable giant. Yu Yang had never seen such a tall giant before. Forget about humans, even the demon abyss demons that were 10 meters tall were insignificant compared to this giant. This giant was 200 to 300 meters tall, or even taller. This was because the lower part of his body had completely disappeared, leaving only his upper body, which was more than 100 meters tall. From this, it could be deduced that his original height was around 300 meters tall. Needless to say, this person was definitely the legendary Titan giant. Compared to him, the 50-meter-tall King of Black Light and the 60-meter-long Black Dragon looked like miniature toys. As for meeting such a Titan giant, Yu Yang had never thought that he, a fake little Titan, would meet a real, great Titan one day. This unimaginable Titan giant had bulging muscles all over his body. He was incomparably sturdy, and his skin was as black as iron. It was a visual impact. Fatty Hai, who was coughing blood, fainted from shock when he saw this giant. Even Xue Tan Lang, who was the bravest among them, was so shocked that he couldn't speak. Not only them, even Yu Yang felt his blood boiling. No one knew how long this Titan giant had been locked up in this Blood Lake torture chamber. Now, he had at least the strength of an innate level 1. In other words, this Titan giant who was locked up here had the strength of the Black Hell King. The only difference was that he didn't have any holy ranked equipment to protect himself, and was being strangled by those extremely long dark golden chains. An extremely concentrated killing intent flashed in Yu Yang's eyes. Kill this giant, steal his power, strengthen his Hui Jin magic blade. As for justice and evil, that had nothing to do with him. Maybe this kind of encounter was fate's arrangement. If not, how could he coincidentally barge into this Blood Lake torture chamber? What an interesting young human. Tens of thousands of years have passed, and the humans now are much stronger than before. He's only in his 20s, and he's still a budding little boy, but he's already improved so much. It's really scary. It was indeed not wrong for me to massacre a large number of humans back then. It's a pity that those stupid old fellows still think they're infallible. Ha ha ha, I, Wu Su, have always said that humans are the Titan's natural enemies, but no one agrees. Do you want to kill me? Young Bean Sprout, I'm sorry, but I think you still don't know that we Titan giants have an immortal body. The giant opened his mouth. His voice was even louder than thunder. Once he opened his mouth, the entire Blood Lake torture chamber shook. If there weren't a few God-binding chains restraining you, I wouldn't be able to kill you. However, the current you is just an old dog that has fallen into the water. Yu Yang tried his best to mock the enemy to cheer himself up. What? Are you trying to make me laugh to death? Wu Su is not someone you can defeat. Because Wu Su is a Titan with an immortal body. Even a god cannot kill me, Wu Su, understand? The giant who called himself Wu Su struggled with all his might, pulling the dark golden chains. Instantly, an earthquake was triggered, and the entire Blood Lake torture chamber shook. Chapter 488. You guys go back first. Yu Yang turned around and waved his hand at Yi Kong, Fatty Hai, Xue Tan Lang and Prince of Tian Luo, who were covered in blood, and were still standing up stubbornly, ready to fight with their last bit of strength. "This guy is my opponent." Yikong wanted to stay, even though he knew he couldn't help. He still hoped to stay and see if he could share some of the burden with Yu Yang. All right. Xue Tanlang was different. He immediately turned around and left. Compared to Yikong, Xue Tanlang's determination to stay and fight with his life was not reduced at all. But Xue Tanlang was very clear. He knew that with his team's current strength, not to mention all of them were heavily injured and exhausted, even if everyone was in good condition, they wouldn't have the chance to help Yu Yang. Staying would only be a burden, there was no other possibility. That Titan giant was many times stronger than the wild boar king Fierce Tooth of the North from the Black Hell Army, and with such a huge body, it was impossible to win. If they really wanted to help Yu Yang, the best way was to leave and find a supreme innate, such as Skylaw, to let her help. Staying at home would definitely implicate him. Lin En and the others understood and left with Xue Tanlang. Only Fatty Hai suggested to return to the 4th floor and come down after the battle. Lu Yi stood up for the first time in her life and made a decision. "All of you go back, I will stay." Everyone was taken aback by her actions. How could they leave her, the weakest one, behind? Any random blood python would be able to swallow her whole. Even the shockwave from the clash between Yu Yang and the Titan Wu Su could kill her. Leave her behind? Absolutely not. Lu Yi had her own reasons. "I have the perforate deer, if he is really in danger, I can teleport to his side and bring him away." Prince of Tian Luo thought about it and rejected it. "It might be a good idea for you to stay, but Lu Yi, we can't let you take the risk. Furthermore, we have to believe in Yu Yang even more. There's no need to use this plan that will fail in the end. We have to believe in him. He will definitely win. If he isn't confident, Yu Yang wouldn't take the initiative to challenge the other party. Since he wants to fight, then we have to believe in him. Now, let's all leave and return to the Yu clan castle, then we can discuss further." Unable to resist the strong demands of the crowd, Lu Yi finally changed her mind. "You want to leave? Let me, Wu Su, send you on your last journey." The Titan that had been strung up in front of the giant wall suddenly started laughing loudly. Countless magical beasts surged out like a tide as he willed them to do so. However, the most terrifying killing move was the 2-finger gusts that he flicked out when he bent down halfway. He flicked his finger at Yu Yang. The other one flew towards Yikong and Fatty Hai. The 2-finger gusts that Wu Su had casually flicked out did not feel strong at first. However, as it moved forward, it continued to increase in speed and quickly exploded. It broke through the sound barrier and formed 2 huge wind pillars that seemed as if they were going to shatter space. One of them flew towards Yu Yang, who was ready to attack, while the other flew towards the crowd, who were 2 kilometers away. Its speed was extremely fast, even faster than the speed of sound by a few times. The huge pillar-like finger gusts reached the 2-kilometer distance in a few seconds. It was unimaginably fast. Yikong, Fatty Hai and the others were overwhelmed with shock. Such a terrifying power was actually just a casual flick of the opponent's finger gusts. Hui Tai Lang was like a demon king that had descended to the world. He roared towards the sky, his voice piercing everyone's ears like thunder. His whole body was burning with dark golden flames. With an irresistible force, he forcefully collided with the wind pillar. Rumble! Hui Tai Lang, who had leaped forward 50 meters, was still pushed back more than 30 meters despite his claws digging into the ground. 4 deep claw marks were left on the hard ground. The shock wave from the collision caused Yikong, Fatty Hai and the others, who were already prepared for it, to stagger. It was just a finger gusts from 2 kilometers away. Even when it was blocked by Hui Tai Lang furiously, it still had such power. Xue Tanlang and the others knew that their opponent was extremely strong, but they never thought that this Titan giant named Wu Su would be so unbelievably strong. This completely dispelled everyone's determination to stay. Everyone was clear that staying would not help Yu Yang at all. Instead, they would become his burden. Hui Tai Lang killed a few of the fastest beasts. He did not linger and quickly retreated to protect everyone as they left. He completely left the battlefield to his master. Yu Yang was different from Hui Tai Lang. The wind pillar that Wu Su shot out could be deflected to his side with a wave of his hand. Using this wind pillar, Yu Yang heavily injured many beasts. It's actually a divine beast? Even though it's still in its infancy stage, it's not bad. It's a pity that Wu Su is trapped here. Otherwise, I would definitely kill all these troublemakers. The Titan giant snorted coldly. There was lightning flashing on his face. It seemed that he still had a long-range attack. Because of Yu Yang's casual way of dealing with the situation, he changed his mind. Yu Yang unsealed his innate level 1 powers and took out his gold-ranked dragon-slaying spear. The purplish-gold heaven's fury fire lotus danced in the air. Wherever the spear pointed, all the beasts fell to the ground. Although the shape of the spear was not big, its power was not any weaker than the wind pillar that Wu Su shot out. Every time the spear stabbed out, the spear would pierce through the beast horde, leaving a bloody and empty path. The beasts that looked extremely strong in the eyes of Xue Tan Lang and the others were nothing in the hands of Yu Yang. He could kill them easily. It was because of Yu Yang's help that the small team could leave the Blood Lake torture chamber unscathed. Before leaving, Hui Tai Lang even called out to Yu Yang a few times. He actually wanted to stay the most. However, Hui Tai Lang was already intelligent enough to understand the mission that his master had given him. That was to protect the lives of this team. Do you want to use this toothpick to clean my teeth? Haha. The Titan giant Wu Su laughed unscrupulously. Although the gold-ranked dragon-slaying spear could kill the Golden Dragon King, it was not enough to deal with the ancient Titan. Unless he had a complete set of the dragon-slaying set and could unleash the power of a holy weapon, he would not be able to hurt him. These are your last words? Yu Yang laughed coldly as well and unsealed his innate level 2 powers. A strong shockwave spread across the entire 5th level of the Blood Lake torture chamber. The purplish gold flames formed a concentrated fire pillar that burned for a long time. Countless frost flowers floated down from the dome. The beasts that were chased out by the Titan giants were either roasted alive by the Heaven's Fury Fire Lotus, or frozen into ice sculptures by the frost flowers that contained extreme cold energy. Only a dozen or so of the strongest demonic beasts managed to escape with their lives. Yu Yang kept the gold-ranked dragon-slaying spear, closed his eyes and unsealed his innate level 3 powers. Wu Su, the Titan giant, suddenly smiled mysteriously. Lightning appeared in front of him again. Hundreds of electric currents that resembled electric snakes quickly gathered in his right palm, forming a terrifying thunderbolt. In an instant, Wu Su's aura exploded like a volcano eruption. With an unparalleled strength that could easily defeat a giant dragon, the cunning Titan Wu Su swung his arm towards Yu Yang. The hurricane-like palm energy concealed the destructive thunderbolt. In less than a second, the thunderbolt had already surpassed the speed of sound, broke through the palm energy hurricane, tore through space and shot towards Yu Yang. Yu Yang stretched out his hand to catch it, but his entire body was immediately sent flying by this unimaginable force. He flew back 1,000 meters. With a loud bang, he smashed into the hard rock surface and was buried deep in the rubble. The shock wave sent the rubble flying everywhere, and dust filled the air. For a long time, there was still no movement in the huge pit. Wu Su, the Titan giant, spat in disdain. "Pfft, human, what a puny creature! How dare you compete with the Titan clan? You overestimate yourself." Although he was slightly surprised that he could kill his enemy in one hit, he did not doubt the power of his thunderbolt. Not to mention humans, even giant dragons, or even the ancient behemoths in the heaven realm would fall in one hit. Although the human just now was not bad, he was still very young. How dare he unseal his innate power so slowly and leisurely against him? He was really a flower in a greenhouse. Didn't any of his enemies teach him to be wary of the enemy's sneak attack? At the thought of this, Wu Su laughed out loud. He loved to kill humans, especially the little buds with the most potential. He wanted to kill them before they could grow. The thrill of killing a small sprout was too satisfying. Nothing in the world could compare to it. Ha ha! Ha! Wu Su's laughter was like thunder, resounding throughout the entire Blood Lake torture chamber. The entire Blood Lake torture chamber trembled under his maniacal laughter. Just as Wu Su was laughing proudly and comfortably, a figure flashed in front of Wu Su. He was wearing a tattered wyvern leather armor. His clothes and the ends of his hair were slightly burnt due to the thunderbolt. However, his eyes were unusually clear, like the spring water quietly flowing over the rocks in the stream. This person was, of course, Yu Yang. Between his hands, there was an extremely small and concentrated thunderbolt ball that was disappearing continuously. To be more accurate, he was using the devouring ability in his body to continuously devour and absorb the thunderbolt that Wu Su had thrown out. Seeing Yu Yang in such a state, Wu Su's laughter was like a knife. For the first time, a look of disbelief appeared in his huge eyes. He could not help but exclaim, "How can you devour my thunderbolt? That's my thunderbolt. Continue laughing, you will soon become history." Yu Yang waited until the last bit of thunderbolt was completely absorbed by the uncontrollable devouring black hole in his body. Then, he gently tore off the tattered wyvern leather armor on his body, revealing his perfect body. Wu Su saw that there was not a single wound on this young human's body. The attack that he had accumulated his strength just now was completely withstood by the other party. Completely unharmed. How could this be possible? If the thunderbolt hit directly, the giant dragon would also fall to the ground. How could a small human boy be immune to thunderbolt? And it was a thunderbolt thrown out by the Titan. Wu Su suddenly realized something and roared, "Cunning human, you have a treasure that can resist thunderbolt." Yu Yang shook his head. His lips curled into a mocking smile. "Fool, don't think that you are the only one who knows how to control thunderbolt." As he finished speaking, the purplish-blue thunderbolt on Yu Yang's body flowed endlessly as if it had a life of its own. Countless electric arcs were like small electric snakes that gathered in Yu Yang's palm, forming a special form of purple lightning that was similar to the Titan's thunderbolt. The only difference between the two was the color. The thunderbolt that Wu Su had condensed was a bright silver Titan's thunderbolt. On the other hand, the thunderbolt that Yu Yang had condensed in his hand was a deep purple. Within the purple, there was a tinge of blue and even a hint of golden light. As Yu Yang condensed the thunderbolt, he unsealed himself to innate level 4. Then, with a burst of strength, he angrily threw the purple thunderbolt back at Wu Su. "Cry, you pathetic egomaniac!" Chapter 489. The purple lightning struck Wu Su's huge hand that he had used to block. Wu Su was confident that as a Titan, the controller of thunder and lightning, there was no electric current in the world that could hurt him, especially the pair of huge hands that he used to condense thunderbolts. Boom! A deafening explosion occurred between Wu Su's huge hands. The lightning was like a snake, flashing wildly. It then spread out in midair, forming a mysterious diagram that was formed by countless purple electric snakes. It was big on the outside but small on the inside. The electric current extended inward, as if it was swallowed by a black hole. When it reached its limit, it exploded with earth-shattering power. The original purple lightning seemed to have received some kind of energy and expanded rapidly. With a power that was 100 times stronger than before, it formed a purple lightning storm that surrounded Wu Su's body. Even as the controller of thunder and lightning, under the purple lightning storm, Wu Su was shaken by the electric current. His huge body convulsed violently. "I, Wu Su, am a Titan. How can I be hurt by electric current?" Wu Su was confused. If it was an ordinary giant that was hit by lightning and injured, then it would be fine. However, he was an ancient titan, a natural controller of thunder and lightning. He was almost immune to any electric current in the world. However, he was hit by the purple lightning and the pain was unbearable. This was too strange. Unimaginable. His thunderbolts were unable to hurt the other party, but the human boy that looked like a bean sprout could hurt him with purple lightning. Could it be that he was dreaming? Yu Yang laughed coldly and did not say anything. Ever since he merged with impatience, he gradually grasped the power of her god's punishment. Although it was not as powerful as impatience, who could destroy the world with one strike, it was not weak either. If it was not for the fact that Yu Yang had not fully grasped the power of thunder and lightning, Wu Su, the ancient titan, would have been more seriously injured and in an even more pathetic state. Impatience's heaven's punishment thunder contained an extremely strong judgment-type spiritual energy. Even the Hell-Black Dragon King, who was known to be immune to elemental damage, would fall to the ground immediately after taking a hit. Putting aside impatience's judgment and destruction type of heaven's punishment power, if it was Shui Wuxiao instead, her inability and destructive will thunder was not something that Wu Su could be completely immune to. The purple lightning released by Yu Yang was no less powerful than the Heaven's Fury Fire Lotus, which contained a suppressive force and a violent will. Combined with the Heaven Rune Circle, it formed a purple lightning storm. Although it was unable to cause more damage to Wu Su, who was an ancient titan, it was not a problem to make him suffer. This attack was not mainly for damage. It was intimidation. Stepping on the enemy's proudest spot with one foot, Wu Su's most powerful Titan Thunderbolt was finally suppressed by the purple lightning. This was not because the purple lightning was stronger than the Titan Thunderbolt, but because of the user. If you think that I only know how to throw lightning bolts, you're wrong. You are gravely mistaken. Wu Su roared. His voice shook the entire Blood Lake torture chamber. His arms shone brightly. His skin, which was originally like black obsidian, became a blazing gold. An energy giant that was more than 100 meters tall slowly squeezed out from Wu Su's body. With Wu Su's powerful punch, it fiercely pounced towards Yu Yang. Doing the same action, it stretched out its hand to attack Yu Yang together with Wu Su's huge punch. Yu Yang's afterimage disappeared. Teleportation. He appeared under Wu Su's melted body. His Hui Jin magic blade carried a 100-meter-long purple-gold flame and slashed towards Wu Su's broken body. Insignificant skill. Wu Su jumped upwards like a skipping rope. The dark golden chains that were deeply embedded in his wrists made a circle in the air and easily destroyed the purple-gold flame. That blazing gold energy giant moved as fast as lightning. It immediately turned around and punched towards Yu Yang. If he was hit by this energy giant or Wu Su's punch, the consequences would be even worse than being hit by a group of golden mammoths. Yu Yang mysteriously dodged, not letting the enemy's attack graze him at all. Under the coordinated attacks of the energy giant and Wu Su, Yu Yang calmly escaped from the rain of punches. Wu Su looked at Yu Yang in disbelief. Now, he suddenly realized the benefits of being small. A human's body was very small and could not fight against a titan's strength. However, a titan's fist was too big. It was not easy to hit an agile human, especially when this human boy was 100 times more slippery than a loach. Brute force could not subdue him at all. Domain! Wu Su shouted. The blazing gold energy giant heavily hit the ground with both of its hands. Its energy body quickly melted and turned into golden light that shot out in all directions. A circle of light spread out rapidly. It easily went beyond Yu Yang's front, back, left and right, enveloping him within it. The circle of light was 100 meters wide. From the ground, a light barrier that seemed slow but was actually fast rose. It was also 100 meters tall and completely enveloped Yu Yang within it. Yu Yang, who was within the range of Wu Su's domain, did not panic. He did not even summon his grimoire. He only used his yang ability to wrap the heaven's fury fire lotus flames around his body. At the same time, he carefully sensed the opponent's domain power. What kind of domain power was this? This was not the first time Yu Yang had seen a domain. He already knew about the existence of domain power when he was fighting against Machi Su Ling. However, Yu Yang had never seen a domain like Wu Su's. Not only was it huge, it could also form a semicircle and completely envelop the enemy. Compared to his own star explosion and devour, this energy giant transformed into a shield-like domain was definitely terrifying. Energy deprivation. Wu Su stretched out his hand and grabbed at Yu Yang. Yu Yang felt a force that was close to the law surging around his body. It completely drew away the heaven's fury fire lotus around him and bounced him out of the shield. What's the use of a little sprout like you without protective chi? Wu Su unleashed the power of a level 1 innate. His entire body was like a dark golden sun. Obsidian's body was almost golden, so brilliant that people could not look at it directly. The energy radiating from his body was even more intense than the sun's light, making Yu Yang unable to look at it directly. Amidst Wu Su's maniacal laughter, the energy radiating from his body formed into a sharp golden light arrow. All the light arrows were formed by energy and shot towards Yu Yang like a storm. Ice! Countless cold air surged out from Yu Yang's body. The entire space seemed to have turned into a world of ice and snow as countless snowflakes floated down. When the light arrows shot towards him, the ice shield around Yu Yang and the crystallized snowflakes reflected them back one by one. Even if the Heaven's Fury Fire Lotus could not be used, it was not a problem for Yu Yang. Yu Yang not only mastered the Yang ability, but he was also proficient in the Yin ability and was not inferior in the slightest. Compared to the Heaven's Fury Fire Lotus, the Frost Flowers and the Ice Shield were more effective. Wu Su roared and stretched out his giant hand again. Energy deprivation. What made Yu Yang feel strange was that it was the same this time. A kind of power that was close to the power of the ancient code appeared, sucking away all the Frost Flowers and the Ice Shield, and then bouncing them out of the shield-shaped domain. Yu Yang frowned. He was clearly consciously controlling the Yin ability. These Frost Flowers and the Ice Shield were like his own weapons. They were filled with his will but could be easily taken away. Wu Su's domain was really strange. It seemed that the ability of this domain was to deprive others of their energy. Of course, it was only limited to the surroundings of the other person's body. The energy in the body should not be able to be deprived. What other tricks do you have? My domain can last for a month. Before it disappears, you won't be able to leave, nor will you be able to protect yourself. Watch how I toy with a little bean like you to death. Human boy, cry, scream, pee your pants. You humans will never be able to defeat us titans. Wu Su laughed out loud. If he did not have the power of the domain, it would be really difficult for him to kill this slippery human boy with the god-binding chains hanging here. Especially since the thunderbolt was ineffective against this boy. However, now that the domain was out, this boy was definitely dead. He could not escape from the domain, nor could he have anything to protect his body. He was fighting with him naked and without any defense. If this boy could win, he would have to be the incarnation of the legendary god. Ice, fire, and thunder don't work. Yu Yang tried to throw a purple lightning at Wu Su, but Wu Su immediately sent it out of the domain. In an instant, Yu Yang, who had used his Heaven Eye's divine vision, finally saw the true situation of this domain. Deprivation domain. The user can use the laws to deprive the enemy of the consciousness of any object and send the object out of the domain. Unable to deprive living objects, unable to deprive the consciousness of holy objects or divine weapons. However, there is a certain probability that the holy object will be sent out of the domain. Within the deprivation domain, there is an absolute law of dual. The user and the enemy coexist. The deprivation domain will only disappear when one of them survives. Currently, it can only last for a month. Yu Yang understood with one look. With this damned deprivation domain, other than holy objects and divine weapons, he could forget about using anything else. What was even more annoying was that the domain could only last for a month. Wu Su shook the entire Blood Lake torture chamber with all his might. The god-binding chains rattled under his shaking. He laughed maniacally. Human, you laughable little bean, what else do you have now? Don't struggle anymore. Cry out loud. This is the only thing you can do. Ah. Yu Yang was speechless. Even with this deprivation domain, it did not mean that he would definitely win, right? Did he not have a domain? And it was not just one. Yu Yang did not summon his grimoire. If he did, he believed that the world domain would absorb the energy of the deprivation domain. Even if the world did not come out, Yu Yang still had a black hole-like devour domain. Even if the absorption was slower, Yu Yang was sure that no matter how powerful this deprivation was, it would not be able to withstand his devour. Wail under my light arrows. I, Wu Su, really can't bear to kill you in one go. Tremble, human, this is your fate. Wu Su gleefully shot out thousands of light arrows. Without the ice shield and frost flower, what other energy was there to protect Yu Yang's body? Why do people always make people speechless when they're about to die? Yu Yang's body flashed with flames and automatically formed a fire armor. Energy deprivation. Wu Su did not even look and stretched out his hand. Thousands of light arrows shot towards Yu Yang. All of them incinerated the fire armor and disappeared. Wu Su was shocked. When he calmed down and looked again, he was stunned. The legendary Nirvana flame actually appeared on this damned human. Wu Su was dumbfounded. Yu Yang revealed a unique mocking smile. The Nirvana flame that could not be replicated in the 12 zodiac temples and the Gemini temple could not be replicated. It was a unique existence in the world. Would the deprivation domain take away its owner's will and send it out of the protective shield? Of course, it was impossible. It was an existence that no one could copy, absorb, deprive, or even assimilate. Even if it was the black hole-like devour in Yu Yang's body, or the halo-like world in his grimoire, it was impossible for them to absorb even a tiny bit of Nirvana's flame. With just Wu Su's deprivation domain, he wanted to touch the Nirvana flame? This could only be said to be wishful thinking. At first, Yu Yang was shocked. He was afraid that the deprivation domain would corrode his Nirvana flame, so he did not dare to use it immediately. He did not expect to observe carefully with his heaven eyes divine vision. The deprivation domain could not even take away the will of a holy object, let alone the Nirvana flame. If the Nirvana flame was compared to an item, the Heaven's Fury Fire Lotus was only a platinum-ranked treasure. However, the deprivation domain was definitely a divine-ranked weapon, or even a supreme divine-ranked weapon. You actually have the Nirvana flame? The pride in Wu Su's eyes quickly disappeared. Not only the Nirvana flame, I also have the world exterminating wheel. Are you surprised? Cry and tremble, Titan giant, this is your fate. Yu Yang completely returned Wu Su's arrogant words. You're tuning in to the Phoenix Knights YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.